Mom. Dad. Juliet. Neve. Special guest Nana, yay! First off, Nana, welcome to the show. You're our first ever guest.
Wow.
on Pancake Friday.
Privilege. Thank you.
All right, we have a special Valentine's Day episode today.
We do. You're doing it with my mom.
On Valentine's Day Friday, so just for the record, we keep the record alive. This is episode 6 weeks in a row. We're going for 10 weeks, just so you know, Julie.
Okay.
And we will get this out before midnight, so technically it's still Pancake Friday.
Yeah.
And I just want to thank all the people that are eagerly awaiting with their partners to listen to us. It's an honor that on Valentine's Day you come together with your loved ones.
Waiting to listen to us talk crap.
All right. So, Julie, first off, again, welcome to the pod. How's your week been here so far?
It's been good. I've had lots of nice things to do, mostly with Juliet though.
Yeah. Seeing your granddaughter, I think, is probably one of the highlights of being out here. How
crazy is it because last time you were here, she had just started crawling.
Yeah.
Because if I remember correctly, we went to my mom's place.
She was pulling herself up to stand.
But remember, we went to my mom's and we put her down, and it was the first time she had like that much space, and we were all like, "Oh, she's crawling a lot."
Yeah.
And now she's walking.
Yeah. I know, it's crazy. It's been 6 months since your last visit.
Yeah.
And she's just a completely different.
She's a little character now.
Oh god, she's a little sass
A lot
pot.
of a character.
Yeah, a little sass pot right now. I feel like we're in that toddler tantrum stage of just, it's a bit.
Yeah, I mean, even today, like I felt bad because I think, just for the record, I think that her teeth were hurting. I don't think it's because she fell on her face that she was that rattled.
I might have had something to do with her falling on her face.
I mean, I was trying to let her like do her thing, and because like. She, just so everyone knows, we have these little foam steps. It's just 2 steps, and they're usually against the couch. And when Sim had got up to leave, he like bumped it, so there's this space, and she kept like falling down the back of it. And so and she was like stuck. So I got her out of it. And I was like, "No, don't do this." And then I moved it, and so that the space was gone.
Yeah.
And then she
kept moving it back.
She kept getting really upset, like, because she hadn't slept too. She only slept for like 20 minutes in the car, so she was like, and I was like, oh my gosh, and she just kept fighting me. So I was like, fine, like, if you want to stand, you're just gonna have to learn.
Yeah. And
then sure enough, right away, she was just like, face first, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then so I give her a balk, and she literally fell asleep. But then when you came home and woke her up was when she like really said,
"Oh yeah, she went off.
Yeah.
She was not happy." But I do think that was her teeth as well, because she kept putting her finger in her mouth, and I opened her mouth and you can see she's got one coming out of the top.
And she was drooling a ton.
Yeah, she's drooling McGee's right now.
So I'm not saying it was like a proud moment having her fall on her face. I'm just saying it wasn't as bad as you think.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is, I guess, like, what's special about this, other than it's the Valentine's Day podcast and Julie being here, we also are trying a whole bunch of tequilas.
I got a lot of tequila.
A lot of tequila, not like a bit, a lot of tequila.
Yeah. So pre Mom coming to Vancouver, you guys were on a cruise.
Yeah.
What, Central America cruise?
We did the Panama Canal. Started off in Miami, ended up in Los Angeles, called in at Guatemala, Costa Rica, Mexico, Acapulco, pants.
Really? Wait, whoa, why? Where is it? Acapulco part of Mexico?
Yeah. I think decades ago, maybe the kind of 60s, 70s.
Oh, it's not anymore.
The place to go.
Yeah.
But it was, I mean, we saw the cliff diving, which was good, but
apart from that, was
grubby and just meh.
I believe that.
Yeah.
Well, the good news is that we got 6 tequilas to try. Straight from south of the border. Yeah. And Mexico. So,
south is south of the border. I like that. I'm gonna start using.
South of the border.
Yeah, I like that.
That's because in America it's south of the border, but we're north of America, so double south.
Yeah, so we're.
That's math. That's math.
If you say it really quick, it just sounds like we're North America.
South of the border. Yeah.
South is south. Of the border.
We are North America.
We're north of the Americas.
No, well, we are North America.
Yeah.
Continent-wise.
So, I also want to just shout out before we get into the tequila tasters.
Okay.
We're also sipping on Casamigos, George Clooney's.
More tequila.
And I just think if you haven't had this tequila, if you don't like tequila, try it. It's the best tequila by far.
Yeah, Casamigos is so good.
Cheers to George Clooney.
Okay, cheers to George Clooney.
He looked good. What was that movie we watched? He looked really good in that too.
Yeah. That movie we watched the other day.
With Julia Roberts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just about him and Julia Roberts are really famous and good looking at old ages.
George Clooney has just gotten better with age as well, if you ask me. Like, you watch ER, which is what he became famous in, right? And he's good looking, but now with the silver streaks,
fox.
He's such a silver fox.
I'm not gonna lie, I get that thought. Like, I get it. I've heard it for a very long time, but watching that movie was the first time I felt like George Clooney looked like an old guy as opposed to the silver fox for me.
Good looking old guy.
I
quite
like old men.
I don't know.
Not
before
old men,
before I thought he looked old, like his face, but he wasn't actually old. Whereas now, I don't know. You know, when someone gets really old, you could say the way their body holds itself. To me, he just looked old.
No,
I'm sorry to say that.
You need to stop digging because I think he's younger than me.
No, he's not. What? No, George Clooney. Oh shit.
You're in that hole. Stop digging.
So moving on.
This is where we get my mom's unblessing. And on that note,
let's have some tequila.
Let's do our first shot of tequila.
So what is the first one?
The first one. Oh wait, I've got my glasses on. Let me look.
Damn it!
The writing's so small. This is a Blanco.
Blanco is I'll translate. That's white.
White tequila. I actually can't read. Oh, it's in Spanish as well. It might not be my poor eyesight. It might just be because it's in a language that I can't read.
What are you trying to read off of it?
I was just trying to see what it I don't know if there was anything about it. Can you read Spanish? No.
It came straight from the place where it's made.
Yeah.
Because we did
It says tequila in English.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks. Blanco. White tequila. Cool. Okay, let's give this one a whirl. Derek.
All right. Oh, this is going to be tough. Here we go. Wait. Sorry. You have technique for doing this. So tell us the technique.
Tequila yoga.
Tell us the technique, yeah.
So tequila yoga. So
okay. I forgot about
so you have to
yoga.
Take a deep breath in and out through the nose.
Oh.
Yeah. The other nose.
Yeah.
The nose that is in your mouth.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then tequila straight down. Mm-hmm. Breathe it in and out again.
Okay, tequila yoga. Let's give this a go.
Okay, let's try it here. So.
Okay.
Cheers.
Okay, if anyone chunders, the person to your left is cleaning it up. I don't know why you're laughing, because that means if there were chunders, you.
Holy shit! No chundering.
All right, cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
It worked.
It does, yeah.
Doesn't it?
It still hurts you, but not as
It
much.
still hurts.
Minimises the afterburn.
Oh, why didn't we get limes? Why didn't we get limes?
Oh, we have limes.
Oh.
We do have limes.
Why didn't we get limes?
Well, the next one we'll do is a slammer.
Okay, next one's a slammer.
I love tequila.
Hubba, hubba.
You know, so I know my reactions are a little more than most. I think I'm a little more expressive than most people. But the way you react, like I'm reacting, is how you react when you drink hard liquor. Everyone, right? Like you get this like. Ugh. So I ask you, at what point do you just go, "Oh, I'm drinking poison, and that's why my body is acting this way"?
Never.
I think, Derek, the scientific term for it is wuss.
I can't look
As
it
in,
up.
you are a wuss.
I can't look it up on my phone, so I'll have to take your turn. I'll just have to listen to you on this one.
That was good. I enjoyed that tequila.
It's no Clooney, but
I'd say it's up there.
it's pretty good because jokes aside of saying it's no Clooney, Casamigos is the best. Like it's
absolutely.
so smooth, so smooth. So that's always what I'm gonna rate it off of.
Yeah. But that was
pretty good.
was nice. That's better than, most of the well shit that you get.
Okay, so you said you had some questions, or do you want me to start with some little fun facts?
I have topics.
Okay.
I don't really have questions. I have some topics. And the first one that has been on my brain this entire week is fake friends, and I'll tell you for why. So, 2 or 3 times this week, I've been at work, and I would say some of my colleagues I would describe as friends. And then I go to work.
Wait, say that again.
Some of my colleagues I would describe as friends.
Okay, this is huge. This is huge. This is huge. Yeah. Sweet. Okay.
And then I go to the bathroom and I'm just proved wrong. Because
oh no.
Here's what happens when I'm in the bathroom. I do my business. Might be a number 1, might be a number 2. I finish. I wash my hands and I look in the mirror and I have shit in my teeth. Not like actual shit, but like I have stuff in my teeth. And I'm like, if these bitches were really my friends, they would tell me I've got shit in my teeth. And nobody did. And I that really upsets me.
Well,
and then I'm like, why would you not tell me? Why would you not tell me that I got stuff in my teeth?
Maybe they didn't notice.
Or maybe maybe you'd lose it on them if you'd be like, "Are you kidding me?"
To be fair, I'm not known as the most approachable person.
Oh.
No shit.
But
wait, what?
But I would rather somebody tells me if I've got crap in my teeth.
So what are we talking? Did you have like half a burrito in your teeth?
No,
or are we
but
talking
I had
like a little black thing?
I had the leftover souvlaki lamb that we had. I took that in, which was quite herby. And so I had not even just like one herb like in like back tooth somewhere. Like there was like herbs in my teeth.
I mean,
like there was no way that nobody saw that. They just saw it and didn't say anything. And
I don't know,
like, you fake bitches.
How near did he sit to you?
No, but I communicate closely.
Yeah, but like,
like there's no way that they didn't see it.
No, because I feel like it depends on, you'd have to ask the individual. Like, for example, you would rather someone say to you, "Yo, there's some shit in your teeth."
Yeah.
Whereas some people might be under the mindset that they would be mortified if they had shit in their teeth and were talking in front of everyone, so they don't want you to, like, they didn't tell you out of respect because they'd be embarrassed if they, I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. I would have
more embarrassing to know that everyone knew and no one said anything. Isn't that more embarrassing?
No.
But everyone might not have known.
No, not
That's
everyone
impossible.
knew, but that
It's
one
neat.
person did, and they didn't tell me.
Well, you knew.
Well, not until later, not until after the fact that I'd already been talking to them.
These like giant herbs sticking out your teeth and stuff like that.
No, but like it was
like a
obvious.
bush of rosemary's like hanging out her mouth or something.
like when you see the pirates and they have the blacked out teeth. Yeah. That's what I felt like.
Oh.
I was like, why did no one tell me about this? This is so lame.
I mean, what was the original question? Thing was
it wasn't even a question. It was just a statement.
I mean, I would, if I were you, just honestly leave that workplace.
Just quit.
It's an unsafe workplace to be in, and when you leave,
hazardous.
and when you leave, quit so that they don't have to pay you a severance.
No, I'll demand severance.
No. That's how upset you are.
I came in. and my expectations as a worker were not met. Pay me severance. And they're like, why weren't your expectations met? I'm like, nobody told me I had gunk in my teeth. Yeah, and that's on you.
And then you go, I declare severance. And then that's not how it works at all.
I'm going to like slam my fist on the table really hard.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I honestly, when you started that story, I was worried you were going to say, I thought these people were my friends. And then I was going to the bathroom and they came in and was like, Neve's such a bitch or something. Like,
I thought that was
coming. So I'm actually kind of happy that you had this stuff stuck in your teeth.
They were talking shit about me.
They're just like, that bitch Neve, I can't stand her. Like, just so
she's so unapproachable.
I made sure she had that stuff in her teeth.
I actually put it there. Well, she wasn't looking.
I heard Nepper food.
No, but to be fair, if someone is talking shit about me, I expect that. Because if someoe's like, oh, Neve's a bitch, I would be like, yeah, fair. Like, I know that. So I'm not surprised that you know that.
You and me that.
And the fact that you're talking about me is kind of flattering anyway. So
what's
that would
saying?
have been fine.
All press is good press.
Exactly. But the teeth thing really got to me. Really touched my emotions.
I'm sorry to hear that. I'm really sorry to hear that. That's
sure I brought you up better than that.
No, that's messed up, and quite frankly, you're right.
Thank you, Derek, for validating my feelings.
Okay, I got one here.
Okay.
Okay, where is it? So, black coffee. What's that about? That's
is the only type of coffee.
Okay, so this is what I. Do you drink coffee at all?
I do drink coffee.
And is it always with cream?
Either
milk
normally at home,
or like a latte.
Or a latte. Yeah, a latte. Something.
Have
like
you
that.
always drank that? Like, let's talk about. So the whole actual thing is, how do you get to black coffee? Because
don't.
Neve sometimes.
You don't.
I don't.
But like, did you start coffee where you're drinking it now, or did you start like maybe like something sweeter and then over time?
No, I've always drunk coffee with milk. Don't like it too strong. If I have an Americano, then it needs a shot in it, like Bailey's or Amaretto or Kahlua or Gretzky's whiskey maple cream.
Shout out Wayne the
Shout
Pain.
out to Wayne. What about you?
Well, okay, so mine was, I started with French vanillas from Tim Hortons, which are arguably not coffee because there's so much sweetener.
They're not really coffee.
And the only reason I got them was because I was in massage school and everyone was way older than me and they couldn't stay awake. So in the morning it'd be like first block, we'd get out for our break, and then they'd all walk to the Tim Hortons a block away and be like, coffee. And so I was like, well, I want to be popular because I was 21 and the next youngest person in my class was 35.
Oh my god!
So I was way younger than everyone, and so like I'd go with all of them and be like, yeah, I also drink coffee, but I didn't really need it or liked it, so I'd get French vanillas, and then it slowly, and I'd say French vanilla outside of getting the like Frappalappuccinos, which are like all like, or like the Oreo flavored whipped cream, like those crazy ones. That's like the highest level of it's not coffee.
Yeah.
It's so sweet and everything else. And then slowly I've got to like, I don't know, then I got like caramel macchiatos, which was, it's still sweet, but it's more of a true coffee. And then I started just getting potted coffee with creamers. And now
you still have like half cream or half coffee.
I do not. Now I'm thinking of going to just black coffee, and so that's why I wrote the question. I was like, how do you get there? And like, for example, Neve, I think she's just got no soul, and that's why she can drink black coffee. Like, if you don't have a soul, you're just like, I like it black, and I look at them, and I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
Dad drinks black coffee.
Dad drinks black coffee.
Seems pretty soulless too.
I tell you, I remember the first coffee that I had that I liked was the gingerbread lattes that they would do over Christmas time at Starbucks, and Costa in the UK. I used to love those. They're so good. And I still love a gingerbread latte.
That's how they get you.
And I do, and I like lattes, and I like cappuccinos and all of that stuff. But if it's like drip coffee or instant coffee, I'd rather just have it black.
Why?
Because milk grosses me out. Cold milk just shouldn't be anywhere near your mouth.
What about warm milk?
Yeah, well, if it's like hot milk, like in a latte, that's different.
I don't know. That was a weird.
If it's like
beat around your mouth.
You see, if you go to Europe years ago, before everybody kind of got into the Starbucks thing and lattes and cappuccinos, you could get those in Italy, but you'd go to Spain and you'd have cafe con leche, and they would
cafe con leche is good.
It would be a black coffee with a little jug of warm milk.
Yeah, and
the same in France, cafe au lait. So they've always.
It's a very European thing.
With warm milk.
Yeah, and Italian, even then they started off with the like an actual macchiato, not like a Starbucks macchiato, but macchiato is just a double shot of espresso with like milk foam, hot milk foam.
Barista Neve.
Shut up.
Like you were a barista Neve.
I know, I was a barista Neve.
It's weird. I always say this whenever I talk about barista stuff. I can't get over how poorly paid a barista is versus the expectation of the public on them. Like a barista, you're just getting like minimum wage, right? And then people will lose their mind and they're like, I said I wanted like non-fat soy cream latte with the skim off top, 2 scoops, then 1 scoop on, then 2 scoops off, and you didn't get that. And you're like, this person's making $8. Like,
I'd be like, I come because I'd be going like, get a grip, you muppet.
100%.
Yeah, and I think that's not just baristas. I think that's anybody that's working in the service industry.
Yeah, it's
like,
true.
I mean, especially baristas, because people, it's like I know that me in the morning, I'm not very pleasant to deal with until I've had a coffee. So imagine you're that person, but you're doing it in the middle of a coffee shop and you're yelling at like a 16-year-old school kid, like,
or some Filipino
don't be a
woman
loser.
That clearly doesn't speak much English.
Yeah, it's like lame.
So if you aren't someone that does well until you get a coffee, and then you just don't get a coffee, do you just not have a good day?
I just ruin everyone else's day.
Okay.
I was like, have you not learned this by now, Derek?
I was just wondering if it was a conscious thing.
No, I'm generally pretty good, like, but now, especially now that I get up earlier. So, like, I try and get up earlier. Derek tried to wake me up today, and he's like, Neve, you've got to get up. I'm like, I am!
How do you wake up in the morning? Like, if you have to wake up at like 6 a.m., how do you
I'm
get
fine.
up?
I'm very much a morning person. I get out of bed and I'm
Like,
there.
does
I'm on
your
it.
alarm
That's like
work?
Derek.
So I've been getting up
Like
at
your alarm goes off and you just wake up?
I even wake up before I wake up about 5 minutes before the alarm.
I can do that most of the time.
And this week, because of the time difference in UK, I'm working from Vancouver. I get up and I'm in a meeting and it's 2 o'clock in the UK and it's 6 o'clock in the morning here, and they're all going, how are you like this?
Yeah, that's just you though.
Well,
that's
just
always
me.
been you.
Whereas your dad,
I'm like Dad.
he's not grumpy, he's just monosyllabic until he's had his second cup of coffee.
See?
Whoa,
no, I'm actually a bitch.
He's not grumpy.
Neve's awful, and if she has to wake up at 7 o'clock, she has alarms
Starting at 6.
At 6 a.m. and keeps hitting her. I don't get why you don't just wake up at 7.
So at home,
I can't, because then I won't wake up till 7:30.
At home, Dad sets my alarm goes off at 7.
Yeah.
And Dad's goes off at 7:15, and then every 10 minutes he snoozes it, and I'm going, what's the point?
Yeah, thank you, because
I get an extra 10 minutes.
No. Why wouldn't you just leave your alarm on until you wake up and not have to, like, okay, so say you wake up at 6 o'clock and you then have to hit a snooze alarm. And I get it. I know this is what you just do your way. I'm just asking because this is my thought process. So you want to get up at 7. So for 1 hour, you just keep disturbing your sleep every 8 or 9 minutes to go. Whereas opposed to if you just leave it and you say you don't wake up, just never hit snooze and just let it go until you wake up.
No, I won't get back to sleep if I have the alarms going.
Yeah, my alarm's a radio though, and I think that maybe is a difference. The radio comes on, and I'm listening to what's going on.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
Maybe
though,
I should
for
try
you.
that.
No, but that's what I'm saying for youth though is like, you're saying, but then you don't get to sleep back in, but you just wake up an hour later. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but then the same thing will happen when I wake up that hour later. I'll hit the snooze button like 10 times and then I'll wake up.
But I also, I'm a wacko. Like every time, my work are just shocked by consistently, no matter what, every morning. I just still be like, yeah, I didn't sleep last night. The baby was up, and they're like, how do you still have more energy and more than awake? I'm like, just how it is.
You've always functioned on very little sleep though.
Yeah, I just, I get up I've been getting up at 6 o'clock, which is earlier than I get up at home.
Yeah.
But just to manage that time difference, and I say I'm great, but by about 10 o'clock at night, I'm probably going, yep, I'm ready for my bed now.
Yeah.
See, I do both of those things.
Never fall asleep on the couch. Hate it.
I can't fall asleep on the couch. He falls asleep on the. It's a dad thing.
Dads
always fall asleep.
I also
on
hate
the couch.
sleeping on the couch.
You love sleeping on the couch, and it's not like. It's like we have shows that we watch, and I know that if Derek falls asleep on the couch, he's going to ask me what's happened, and I don't want to explain it to him.
We do that with films.
Yeah.
And your dad will go, have we seen this? I go, yeah, but you fell asleep.
Yeah, so it'll be like the first time you've seen it.
And I'm not telling you what happened. Really mean.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where you get your
wonder.
As soon as one of my eyes goes closed, in my head, I know it's just a matter of time. It doesn't mean I'm instantly asleep, but if I go like this, like we're watching a show, and I usually have my head on that thing, Sherman, and I'll just be like this, watching, and I'm really enjoying it, and then I'll be like, and I still am there. I'm like watching it fully though, like I know, but I just in my head, I'm like, it's inevitable. There's going to have this thing where I'm going to be fighting to stay awake, and then all of a sudden I'm going to just wake up and be like,
Yeah.
What you need is a black coffee before you start watching
There you go.
There you go. That's how we'll start.
No, the funny thing is,
that answers the question.
You'll literally be snoring, and I'll be like, Derek, do you want to go to bed? And he's like, no, I'm awake. I'm like, no, you're not.
Maybe,
That's a lie.
Maybe, at the risk of sounding sexist to millions of listeners, maybe it is a bloke thing, because that's what Sim says. He goes, I'm just resting my eyes, and I'll go, what's just happened then?
No. Derek,
didn't also
your dad did that too though, didn't he? He wouldn't let you change the TV channel.
My dad had the most impossible thing of like, so he like basically just consistently worked 16 plus hour days, right? So he would come home, sit in his lazy boy chair, which was like so expensive and it was so comfy, and he would just inevitably pass out right away. But somehow, even if you like slowly took the remote off his lap and he didn't know, and you could sit there for like 20 minutes and keep it on the same channel, so it wasn't the remote being gone, and you would, as soon as you change the channel, he'd be like, hey, change it back.
I was watching that.
And then he'd fall asleep. So it wasn't like he'd be like, change it back, and then he'd start watching it and then fall asleep. Like he'd be like, change it back.
So I mean, I think that's ridiculous, but I also get it because I sleep listening to cartoons, and if I wake up in the night like to go give the baby a bottle or whatever, I have to put the cartoons back on to go to sleep, even though I'm just gonna fall back asleep instantly. I can, and if I don't, and then I can't fall back asleep.
I think that's so bad for you, and I get it, because because I was for the longest time on that. I want to say I spent at least since I was like 13 or 14 until pretty much like when I started seeing Neve, not even before.
Yeah, because we used to watch cartoons.
I fell asleep with my laptop right next to my face, and I think it's really bad for you.
There's a lot of research about it, isn't it? That you should. It's because it's not maybe what you're looking at. It's the colour. It's the brightness of the screen.
It's specifically the blue light,
and you don't need to have complete darkness to sleep, but you need to give your mind a rest.
Well,
but if I'm not listening to something, my mind won't rest.
Listening's different to watching, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but I don't watch. I don't face. I lie on my back to sleep, and then my phone is playing cartoons on
the blue light. No, the blue light. The blue light is what it is. My phone, I turned off that. There's the you can turn it off, and it turns everything a little tint of orange. And I found it really interesting. Instantly as I did it, my screen time went down because I found I wasn't with blue light. It's super addictive. It's basically the whole effect of the bug light with their and the bug flies in, right? Versus, so blue light is all these new energy efficient light sockets. It's a lot easier, as opposed to the old light was more orange. I'm sure you remember lights being a lot more orange, right? So those are a lot less energy efficient. Yeah. But the light that gives off different. And so what I found was even you can see it on my computer right now. See how everything's lit up, and it's you don't need to see it, Julie, but it's very vibrant. That's blue light. Versus when you turn it off, it goes this duller hue. Yeah. It's almost warmer, I'd say. But with it, what I found is, say you open your phone, and we've all done it, you open it and then you start scrolling. You're like, I'm going to check my email. And then you look at your messages and you just do all those stupid things. What I found was I've just had less of a tendency, once I do whatever I'm doing, to want to continue to look at my phone. Doesn't mean I don't still do it. It's just the tendency's not as intense for as long. Yeah.
I done that on my work computer as well, actually. I turned the blue light off, and it's all
okay, I think
more sepia.
I think we should do a shot, because I have a topic, speaking of men and women and men sleeping on couches. It's a cool thing.
Okay. So we're going to slam it this time.
Oh,
then.
yeah, okay.
I'm going to teach
this
you how
one
to
is
do a slammer.
Respirado.
Why don't you come to your senses? Oh no, not Desperado.
Nice.
Respirado.
Is that what?
Oh, is this the Bolivia? This I think is
Reposado.
Have you this? Look at this, straight from Bolivia, baby.
All right.
Neve, I think yours is Peruvian, or it might be the Bolivian ones. So one thing I tried to do is I tried to collect shot glasses from where I go. But
that was from Mexico, wasn't it? That one.
That one's Peru. That your mom. I think that must be your parents' one, because it's from Alaska.
Yeah, it's from Alaska.
But yeah, Bolivia, the salt flats, Uni salt flats, one of the most Instagrammable places. It's the water, when the water goes on it, it's flat and it looks like mirrors and all this stuff. But it's also one of the worst places to have to get to. Every single thing about it was just so miserable and shitty.
Okay, so for a slammer,
right,
you should have just your shot glass of tequila with a little bit of
are we gonna have to cause
dry ginger
here?
So this is going to be noisy,
okay,
unless you do it on the little mat. You cover the glass with your hand, and you really slam it down, and then drink it back. It should be like froth.
Okay,
right, so 1, 2, 3.
Oh,
that was pretty good. That was pretty good.
Okay.
There is no tequila taste there, was there?
That's crazy.
No, that was actually really
good.
nice.
So that's the tequila slammer.
All right, yeah.
I liked that.
Nice, isn't it?
That was fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's dangerous, actually. I could do it. I
is
could do a
very
lot of
dangerous.
those.
Yeah. I go back to when me and your dad moved in together.
Yeah.
And this one night we just said, have you ever had tequila slammers? And he was like, never heard of them. And he was thinking salt and lime. And I went, no salt, no lime. This is how you do it. And we went through a whole bottle of tequila.
Wow. And you wonder where I get my drinking habits from.
Okay, so this is an interesting thing I heard today. So, a Brit moved to America, and he became a citizen there. Okay, and now he is the president of some men's mental health society. And basically, I guess what it came of a thing over the course of COVID, and what he said was he started paying attention to all this stuff over COVID about like, so first off, he was a very strong advocate for, because a lot of the stuff, he's a men's mental health guy, so he didn't want to like take away from women's mental health, because it's obviously not like a fight of who's worse, right? No. But what he was saying was he found over COVID, everyone was so geared towards women, and women being like negative effects of being like in an abusive place or like trapped with her partner, right? And so he said what he found a lot of the statistics over COVID trended towards was a lot of things like male suicide went up, male depression went up. Very interesting one, since COVID's happened, male enrollment in university has just fallen off a cliff in America. Wow. Okay, so he started up it's just mental health thing, but it's just all for men, right?
Yeah.
And one of the studies that came out of that was when you're communicating with men versus women, men you should talk to shoulder, and women speak face to face. And that is, he said, once you hear it, you won't be able to unsee it in society. And what he related it back to is men, everything they did, like, again, very like back when we were hunter-gatherers, men would fish together, men would hunt together, everything they were doing was like side-by-side communication. As opposed to women, he didn't give reasons as to why women are more face-to-face, but it is kind of a thing. Women do like look at you and talk to you, whereas men, especially men, like I can say this dude to dude, there's very few guys that I talk to where I'd look them face-to-face, and I'm more comfortable looking in people's face-to-face, like face-to-face. And so he said what they've been doing, and they've had like huge breakthroughs with men, is their therapist will go with a walk to walk with them, because being side to side instantly makes them more comfortable talking. And even things when they are in therapy sessions with men, they've started to purposefully have them sit on a couch next to each other as opposed to across. And there's all these breakthroughs. And I just thought that was a crazy, like, bizarre thing. Just the thought of that, like, it's a difference, but like, it's just a weird thing to think about.
It's less threatening, isn't it?
And exactly.
And if you look at society, there was a book written, it's probably about 34 years ago now, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. And if you've ever read it, it's a really, really good read. And it's not saying all women are like this and all men are like this, but there are definitely male traits and female traits in terms of that men used to be hunter-gatherers and men liked, I know I'm stereotyping here a little bit, but men tend to want to problem solve, whereas women are more empathic. And I always give a really good explanation of that. So if I've had a bad day at work, and I come in and I say to your dad, oh, do you know what, I've had a really awful day, the last thing I want him to be doing is problem solving it for me. I don't want him to say, well, what you should do is this and that.
I'd be like, shut up.
Well, what I'm wanting him to do is just listen to me. Not offer me a solution, because all I want to do is just get it off my chest, because it's out there then. And I just think there's that bit about women do manage, in general, tend to manage things differently.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, I read that book because it was the thing to read when I was kind of doing my social work training. But I read it and I recognised things in myself as a woman, but I also recognised things that I did that were kind of more male attributes. And I put that to being a woman in a man's world in the Navy.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
But some of the things that I've read on research is that when we used to work when I worked in early intervention, men did not like the word support. They didn't want to be in a support group.
Well, I think as well, because that I think men, and especially, not digging at anyone's age,
no,
but when you were kind of in that environment, in a military background as well, I think men have this perception that needing support means they're weak.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that's kind of like an unspoken stigma that I still think is around today.
I still think it's around today, and I think in the military, and I was only explaining this to somebody who's just come to work for my organisation the other day. I said the military culture, even now, and I've been out in the military 20 years.
Yeah.
But the military culture then, and to some extent now, is you don't have problems. You, and I'm doing air quotes here, listeners, you man up. Don't bring me problems, bring me solutions.
Yeah.
So so what that does is it makes it really hard that when you do want help to ask for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's be real. The majority of people who serve are men.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's I don't know, that whole macho thing. Like, it's a weird thing because I feel like a lot of most people, I think, kind of go with what's going on around them, so you can manipulate them really easily. Like, if you have a group of, like, let's say 15 or 20 dudes, I think if you stand in front of them and you're like this, all right, so we're gonna talk about our feelings because that's what's better for growing you as a person and making you stronger and more caring. I think that most of the dudes there would like hear that and be like, okay, in their head, but then I could just go like this as one person, fucking gay, and that's enough.
Yeah,
and then that's enough to cascade all these people. So it's this weird, like, it doesn't take much to disarm that thought of something because one person said it, and then again, like you said, or like the stigma of it makes all these guys like kind of go from like relaxed shows like, oh cool, and then all of a sudden they like tense up or like yeah that no, why would a dude talk about their feelings? Like, that's what happens, right?
Yeah.
It's getting better.
Absolutely.
I genuinely believe it's more acceptable to talk if you've got an issue or you need support. It's not always around mental health.
Yeah.
But if it's becoming more acceptable for people to say, I need help.
Yeah.
In general, what is scary to me at the moment is that it feels to me, what I'm seeing in society is it almost feels like we're moving backwards a bit.
In what sense?
Is in the sense of, and I don't want to be political, but in the sense of, I was reading an article the other day that said America is a bit like 1930s Europe, and that the strong are strong and the weak are weak.
Yeah, well, that I feel like is like the tale. That's like the tale of history, though. I feel like there's always like the power balance of like the weak and the poor are the same thing, right? The rich and the powerful. I feel like that it's just kind of the balance of time is like that right now, where it seems like the rich are just so rich, like so much richer. I don't know if that's like kind of what you were saying.
It's that, for me, it's that it's that culture of some people are better than others.
Yeah, I
it doesn't feel okay to me.
I agree with that.
But
no. What I was gonna say is, I just feel like there is a sense of that whichever direction you turn.
Yeah.
Because it's not just a like I have more money than you, so I feel like I'm better than you. It's also, I feel like on the other side, it's my moral standing is higher, so I'm better than you.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like everyone thinks that they're right and they can't be wrong.
Yeah, it's people... It's like people have forgotten how to have different opinions and say, do you know what? We've got a different opinion, But hey, that's okay.
Yeah.
And it's a difference of opinion.
Yeah, I feel like we are living in a very like divided world right now. I think it's been more divided than it has been in a long time.
For me, society feels more divided than it's ever done. And if I think about, I was a child of I was born in the 60s. I've seen all that kind of, women's lib and stuff like that was going on in the 70s as I was a teenager. I didn't really take much notice of it because I was too much into my music. But
damn straight.
But I joined up in the 80s and I experienced misogynistic behaviour in the services and I had to really fight as a woman in the military.
Yeah.
Most women when I joined up either left because they got married because you had to, or left because you got pregnant because you had to. So women weren't doing like I did, 22, 23 years in the service. Nobody who I joined up with did 23 years. I was the only one out of the class of 32 women that I joined up with that did a full Navy career.
That's crazy.
But that's okay. But I experienced some sexist and some misogynistic behaviour and whatever. But it feels worse now when I talk to people, because I do still talk to people who are serving because of the job I do. And only yesterday I was reading a news report about a female soldier aged 19 who actually committed suicide, and a contributing factor was the sexting, the texting, the WhatsApp messaging she was getting from a man who was a superior, and that makes me sad because I think this is a generation ago.
Yeah.
And it feels worse.
Yeah.
Society feels quite divided to me.
No, it feels.
Do we need more tequila? This feels a bit heavy now.
Yeah.
I gotta go pee too, so let's take a little pee break and pour the tequila. I'll just be 2 seconds.
Okay, I'll pour the tequila.
Yeah.
And pause.
Blanco.
Oh yeah. I
And
prefer
we're
the
back,
silver
George
Blancos.
Clooney. Oh, and we're back. George Clooney is a silver fox.
Got your mic. That's the tequila.
Okay, so what are we doing here now?
Okay.
So
This is smell it.
You smell.
No. It doesn't smell like tequila. It smells like almonds. It's like marzipan.
Oh.
So this is what, almond tequila?
almond tequila.
This is what the Bolivians drank.
Is it?
No.
And you can do your yoga. I'm just going off the subject of tequila a minute.
Okay, that's
just
fine.
to talk about rum.
Oh, okay.
Because we did go to.
Rum's also
I
great.
don't like rum, but
No,
we went
Sim
to
loves it.
Sim loves it. We went to a rum tasting in Guatemala, and it just so happened to be the place where they make his favourite rum, Zacapa. Zacapa. But they did this thing where you got the rum, and they said sniff it through your left nostril, not sniff the rum up, but smell it through your left nostril,
Burns your eyes.
and then smell it through your right nostril, and it's a different smell.
It smells the same to me.
I don't know if it works with tequila, but it definitely did with the rum. And for one of the rums, one of the ropier one, the younger rum, they gave us almonds, and you had to chew the almonds, but chew but not swallow. Keep it in your mouth, and then drink the rum over it, and it actually made the rum.
I can see it being way better.
Big fan of the chew but not swallow.
Yeah. So.
Cheers, Mum!
Cheers.
I don't know what to say to that one.
Yeah.
But, all right, well, here we go. Anejo. That was good.
That's very easy, isn't it?
Yeah,
Oh
that's
god, that
dangerous.
doesn't. Yeah.
That doesn't even taste like it's got alcohol in it.
No.
I just don't think that can have any alcohol in it, really. What does it say on the bottle?
That tastes like that literally
that
tastes like a Bakewell tart.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? The almond tarts that we get from Safeway.
Yeah. Oh yeah, those are good. Yeah, that's tasty.
That's what that tastes
that
like.
couldn't have had alcohol in it. It tasted
No.
far too
You
nice.
should try
Yeah.
another one.
That
So-
was really good,
Go on.
actually. Yeah.
Next subject then.
I've actually got a next subject. Unless you say something you want to say, I can save my subject till later.
I mean, yeah, okay,
We've
let's
still
move.
got 2 more tequilas
Yeah, let's
to go.
because I was gonna say we'll move on
3 more
from what
tequilas to go.
I was just gonna say. about all the like the world being kind of like what you were referring to.
Oh yeah, we had to take a.
I just feel like
break.
I feel like the world that you see versus the world that is on your phone are radically different at this point. But the world on your phone isn't objectively all true. But the problem is it affects people in a real way. So I think there's a lot of stuff that's not real that's said and that is out there, but the amount of people that see it and believe it, it doesn't matter if it's real or not. It's because they believe it.
Yeah.
So I've been saying this, me and Neve, of like basically the underlying theme of this podcast is I think that phones and screens are really just killing us. Like I think that there's always been divisiveness and bad things, but now it's just like hyperinflated.
And I don't think it's hyperinflated. I think people's accessibility to the bad things that are happening all around the world makes people afraid.
Okay, so this is actually a perfect transition into something I wanted to bring up. Do you want to do your topics? Because this is what I'm going to do at some point, so it doesn't have to be now.
Is it going to be deep or is it going to be easy?
No, it's nice. It's a really nice
one. Okay, yeah, I can do
yeah,
I can do a nice one. Yeah, sure.
So I feel like a lot, so just so you know, a lot of this podcast, like what I found is anything to do with, let's just say, media, social media stuff, YouTube's all them. All it is people just talking about trends, okay? So I listen to a podcast, and on that podcast, they're talking about current events. And it doesn't have, the easy one to talk about is politics, but it doesn't have to be politics. It's like, oh, Chuck hit a 3-pointer, or, oh, have you heard this new tequila? So current events aren't just politics, just because people seem to get...
current events.
Yeah, but people seem to, as soon as you say that, instantly you have to, like, jump to, like... that part, right?
Well, I listen to your podcast, so
yeah, Mum's an avid
listener. Yeah, so like what it is we're just talking about things that everyone's talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, but what there's a underlying trend of is everyone always leans to negative, and I think it's a human trait. I think it's a protective mechanism of like you have to be prepared for the worst, right? But it's not a good one to have anymore because we're supposed to be like trending upwards, which is the opposite of like being always afraid. And so my question for you both is, what is something you are hopeful about in the future?
The sweet release of death.
What?
I told you she had no soul.
Just kidding.
What am I hopeful for the
Here,
future?
I'll talk for a few seconds while you think about it. Because I think it's an important thing. I think that in general, the world, we're all so connected. So if all of us talk about the same thing, I think it's inevitably going to start happening. And so that's why I always try to shoot down anyone that talks about World War III and nuclear bombs. Because I think
you can speak stuff into existence.
Yeah, like the more you speak of it, the more likely it is. So if, let's say, everyone says, fuck nukes, and you can't find a human on this planet that is like, yo, you could nuke someone, it won't happen because everyone's in agreement. But the second people start saying so, and nukes is such a crazy example, right?
Yeah.
Like, let's take it something smaller, but like things you talk about, if it starts getting into the flow of people's minds, it becomes reality. And so I think the idea of doing stuff like this is like, let's stop talking about the negative and think of like, what are hopeful things? Because there surely has to be hope.
Do you know what? I think my worldview has become a little more selfish.
Okay.
So what holds me, what the things I'm hopeful about is the next trip out here.
Yeah.
Is do you know, there's stuff going on in the world that I cannot possibly influence.
Absolutely.
And I agree that I cannot possibly influence it. I vote. Does that influence anything? I doubt it. So I'm kind of quite cynical there. So my hopefulness is really around what's important to me as a person. So it is about my next trip out here. It is about Juliet being all that she can be.
Yeah.
100%.
It used to be about Neve being all that she can be, and my kind of stock saying, and she'll tell you, safe and happy, and she's there now. She's safe and happy, so I'm kind of quite content with that. So the things, the things that I'm hopeful about, I've become more selfish. I think.
I think that's the best way to be, because and not to advocate for a stupid selfish, you know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't be a very self-centered selfish person morality wise, but at the end of the day, you've got to live your life for you and what's important to you. And Derek knows this is how I feel, and sitting down next to you now, I also see a lot of where I get my traits from.
Yeah.
But I do,
That
and
was
I
hard for you to say.
no.
You can tell you're like, God damn, I have
hard
to
for me to
admit
say.
something
It's
here."
what it's hard. It's hard to admit that you're turning into your mum.
Oh my God, no!
not anyone.
Oh, dear
No,
God.
I. You know, if I'm turning into anyone, I'm grateful it's you.
Oh, thank you.
Don't make me be lame.
I see, I told you.
It's painful.
I can tell this was hard for her.
I'm English, and we don't, say nice things about people we love, because we prefer to rip the shit out of them as a form of affection. But
I don't think that's a form of affection, just for the record.
it is in England, is it not?
Yeah, we're not. Even. And again, I'm quite a positive person, so I love to believe that things do improve and things do get better.
Yeah.
A conversation I had quite recently, just before we came on holiday, was with some friends who I don't give a lot of myself to people. It appears that I do, but I kind of don't really. And I think I have to really trust before I will share things about my life, and I think that's okay, and it feels safe for me. But I think it's that bit about. I say it's selfish. It isn't. I don't want to be rich. Money isn't everything. I want to be happy. I want to be fit enough to do the things I can do. I know what I can. I think what I've learnt is I know what I can influence and what I can't. And something I learnt 30 years ago when I was doing my social work training was, if you change one person's life, you've changed the world.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes, especially in social work, that's good enough. I'm not a politician. I don't aspire to be a politician. I think it's a really hard job, but I also think it's politics is very corrupt. No matter where you are in the world,
no matter.
I'm not pointing
what
any
party,
fingers there.
Who you are. Yeah, I agree.
I just think politics has become so corrupt, so influenced by very few people in the world who've got significant wealth and power that comes with that. That my worldview is now, whatever I can do and whatever I'm hopeful for is about my family.
Yeah.
So I don't want there to be a World War III, because that could impact on people I love.
Yeah.
But can I do anything to influence that? No, I can't. So am I going to get bent out of shape about it? No, I'm not.
Yeah, that's my view exactly. I'm like, why stress so much about something you can't change? And that's actually one of I've got two phrases that you said to me that will stick in my head forever, and one of them is, those who matter don't mind, and those who mind don't matter.
Absolutely.
Stick with that till the day I die, because if you are being your true authentic self and people don't like that and they mind that, they shouldn't matter to you. And if people matter to you, they won't mind that you are doing what you're doing, because and I fully believe that, and I stick by that. And when people don't like me, I'm like, cool, don't have to. Doesn't matter to me. And then the other one was the like mind map in your head of, can you control this situation? Yes or no? If you can control it, yes. Then why are you stressed? Because you're in control. And if you can't control it, no. Then why are you stressed? Because you can't control it. You know, like, you just can't. You can't stress about stuff that isn't on your plate to deal with. My favorite saying is not my sunkies, not my mercus. Not my monkeys, not my circus.
Yeah.
If it's bigger than you, then it's bigger than you, and sometimes you just have to accept that.
I'm a big believer in, I think everything we do always is selfish. Always, period. Like, why do you want the best for Neve? Like, you want the best for Neve because it makes you feel good, and that's just like a fact, right? But that doesn't mean you're not trying to want the best. You genuinely want the best for her, so you want her to, whatever that means, like, do what she wants to do this. But you're doing it because it makes you feel good knowing that.
Yeah.
So I feel like selfish is a weird word for that, because like everything we do in essence is a selfish thing. It's just like, if you're doing, there's different forms of selfishness. So like you being like, it makes me happy having my daughter be happy is different than you being like, I just want all the money in the world. Like that's like true, like in the what we think of selfishness, as opposed to like, so I think what you're saying is like, you're right, and I guess it's selfish, but I don't know, I think it makes the most sense, because I don't think there's like, let's take like some of the most famous people of all time. Let's say like Mahatma Gandhi, like someone that's like viewed as this like super like I don't know what, like peaceful figure, like everyone loves Gandhi. He's not loved by everyone. There's a whole bunch of people that don't like him, that probably think he's a terrorist, or he's against their religious movement or something like that, right? So just even within that, when you hear of greatness, those people are only great in those that call them great. So the idea of you being someone that could change the whole world, you're just like, just blowing smoke.
You look at Nelson Mandela.
Yeah, he's another
one. He was jailed for being perception was he was a terrorist.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I mean,
somebody else's perception is that he was a peacemaker, and I think my wisdom, if I've got any, that's come from the years, has been, you have to pick your battles. You have to pick your battles.
Yeah.
And so when I say I want Neve to be happy, I perceive it as, it's quite selfish, because I'd probably be quite stressed if she wasn't, and I'd be worried if she wasn't.
Exactly.
And it's that whole thing, isn't it, about one of the worst times in my life was when I didn't know what was wrong with Neve.
So many things.
She was referring to the Crohn's
I know
disease.
what she was referring to.
Not what you are now.
But there's a list if you want it.
The list came later.
But no, exactly.
Because that's about, for me, and I can own it, it was about, I don't know what's going on. I've got no control over this. I'm scared shitless. As soon as I knew what it was, don't get me wrong, I didn't like it.
But you can deal with it.
But you felt more
I could
at ease.
deal with it,
well,
and I could research
that's one
it
thing within my job that I've had to deal with so many people that have had, they've found out about life altering things while they've been my client, like my recurrent week to week, month to month. Like this one guy, it was between him and my dad, it's the craziest example of I don't know, if all you do is save your money till you retire, you're probably going to die when you retire pretty quick. So it doesn't mean you don't save money, but like if your thought is like, hey, let's grab a burger, and you're like, I gotta save for retirement, right? This guy got MS, and it was a twitch in his shoulder, and then within 8 months he was like in a wheelchair, fully like was it MS or was it
motor neuron?
I don't think it matters.
Anyhow, he like withered away and died, and it's just kind of this thing of like, I can't remember why I was going on to
I don't know.
that,
I think the point is you just gotta live for the now.
Yeah,
you gotta live for the now. You gotta live for you, and you gotta do what makes you feel fulfilled.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you're hopeful for the near future. I'd say Juliet coming back here. What about yourself?
Hopeful. I don't know, like, I don't really understand the idea of hopeful. I'm thankful for a lot of things that I have presently, and all that I am hopeful for is that things can continue like this, because I'm very grateful for what I have. I'm very content with what I have, and I right now couldn't ask for more. So for me, I'm hopeful that we continue to live our lives and all grow together and be part of each other's life for a very long time. I don't really understand the concept of being hopeful, because I don't live for the future.
That's not very hopeful.
I don't know.
Because I feel like you just said you're not hopeful.
No, it's not that I'm not hopeful. It's just that, like, I'm very content living in my now, and whatever tomorrow brings, I will deal with it when it comes, but that's not now, so
Okay.
I'd rather not think about it.
Fair.
Do you know what I mean?
No.
That's fair enough.
But
I
that's
suppose,
fair.
is it that...
Like, there's nothing you think's going to be in the future better?
Like, objectively, maybe, but I just, like, you don't know. It's the unknown. And if it wasn't the unknown,
So
then
you
it would be
you
known,
could be
and it
hopeful
wouldn't
that
be the
Vancouver
unknown.
house prices might come down to a point that you could afford them.
Yeah. And,
I'm not hopeful for that.
yeah,
That's never gonna happen.
That's a pipe
So I've
dream.
just dashed
That
all
is
your
a
hopes
pipe
now.
dream.
I don't know, but I've always erred on the side of nihilism, and now I'm not so much. I'm very, very happy with my life exactly how it is.
Well, that's good to be in that good place, though, isn't it?
And I am, and this is the best place I've ever been.
You know, maybe is hopeful the right word, but maybe it's what might you aspire to, and it might be that it could be something as simple as, do you know what? I hope Juliet keeps healthy.
Oh, yeah, and of course.
You know, I could say I hope Juliet plays for Liverpool Women's FC one day. That could be really hopeful.
No, I think that's just.
I think
like,
that's actually.
I think that's
a given,
baseline.
isn't it?
It's a baseline given.
Really.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's a lioness. I'll push her towards lioness
Yeah.
before whatever this country's soccer.
Oh, well.
Okay, no, don't talk. If it was men's soccer, you could besmirch it all you want. Our women's program's good.
It is
It's actually good.
Canada
Yeah.
women's
Okay,
are
we have a
pretty
good.
damn
We're
good.
in the like top like 3, 4, 5 teams.
that's good.
Yeah, we're not a slouch like the men's team.
Okay, enough about that. Enough about football.
We talked about it for like half a second.
No. What I was trying to say is, if you'd have asked me the same question 5 years ago, I would tell you that what I'm living right now is what I'm hopeful for. So now I've attained that.
Okay.
And that's all I could ask for. So whatever happens from now, like, I'm good with.
Okay.
I'm good with. Like, for me, I'm there.
Yeah.
So whatever happens now, I'm just along for the ride.
Could I have another tequila thing?
Yeah, you can have another tequila thing.
You didn't.
No, I didn't make one for
So,
Derek.
okay, I'll tell you what I'm hopeful about because...
Okay, you
I-
do your hopeful while I make the tequilas.
I actually thought what you said, I'm really happy to hear that. That's really nice, but I still don't think it really answered the question. But I'm happy to hear that you're where you wanted to be. Yeah, I don't want to slander that.
No.
But it definitely wasn't.
Maybe, I mean, given that it's still Valentine's,
Yeah.
No, she hasn't. So I'm hopeful that in a year's time I'll be married, or I'm hopeful in a year's time that...
Okay, well, I'm going to take I'm hopeful for the future. I think everything that's happening right now is a huge turning point.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. Number one, I feel like there's been this awkwardness where people haven't talked for the past, like, let's give it 30 or 40 years. And what I mean by talked is, like, obviously people have had discussions and debates and arguments. It's been like 4 decades. There's no way there's not like social justice issues and stuff. But I think the world's run way too well, especially from our westernized perspectives, of like we've just kind of like been at the peak of like what we say goes, and everyone's kind of like, oh shit, they're right, because we've had I wouldn't say right, but like it's just kind of the way the world's flowed. But with COVID, I think that it exposed that everything in the world wasn't as smooth running as we thought, and clearly there was a lot of issues that were just not bubbling because everyone was able to go to the grocery store, get their things, play video games, go to the bar, and it didn't really matter. And then all of a sudden, bam, COVID hits, and like you're looking at the person next to you like, do you think what I think? Because if you don't think what I think, you might kill me. Right? Like that's really what COVID was this thing of like, depending on what you believed COVID to be, you acted differently around people. Some people just went out and partied. Other people still till this day are locked up in their house afraid of it, right? So I think what we're seeing around the world discussion, and it's not pretty, but I think it is progressive because it's people talking, and it's getting things sorted. So I'm hopeful for that. I can understand things might not look good, but I want to be on the optimistic side of this is a good thing happening. And I also strongly believe that we're going to figure out something in the next, like, I'm going to give myself a wide time frame. I personally think it's going to be in the next 5 years, but let's say in the next decade. I think that with AI and all the tech we have, we're going to figure out some new form of technology that's going to change the planet. So I'm really hopeful
and robots
for that.
are going to enslave us.
Oh, you're getting into Terminator territory, aren't you now?
That's what's going to happen. That's why I'm not hopeful, because I think robots are going to take us prisoner and kill us all.
I think that the way we view physics and like all our sciences, I think that something's going to happen. Like they're going to discover something. They'll be like, turns out there's not just one decimal place, there's 2. Like something weird that's so small, but it changes the game of how how science works. And it's a pipe dream. I couldn't give you some, I've read these papers. It's just, I feel like we're at this precipice of tech changing. And then if somehow my hope of things getting better via us being through these changes and like discussion, like I said, of like debating, if we do go to war, the 100% guarantee you can guarantee that happens through war is technology's advance. And I think if sadly we do go to war, I think the other side of it will come out with something crazy, because
it's who's got the better robots. That's who's going to win the
So
war.
I'm hopeful for the future. I think the darkness is kind of like the darkness before the light. And I think we're just seeing it now. And you're right. I hope I am too. I can't point to like, look at this or that. It's a feeling. So I'm rolling with that.
So Derek says, the vibes are good. Robots are going to go to war for us. Dark before light. Can I give that was my summary of what you just said.
Well, my joke about the robot, Elon Musk's robots.
Is it a good joke?
I think it's hilarious. Do you want to hear it?
Probably not a good
joke.
So
is it a dad joke?
Yeah,
it's 100% a dad joke.
So Elon, this was a month ago, he showed his new robots, and they're little like mini robots. They're like 3 feet tall or 4 feet, probably 4 feet tall, and they're just like, what they do is they're $10,000 a bot, and the idea of them is you bring them into your home, and they follow you around your house. So I just do my normal cleaning that I do, and the robot just watches you. But slowly over time, it starts to see what you're doing, and it takes up all your tasks. So you're cleaning dishes, you're putting the dishes here, you're doing this, you're folding the laundry, this goes here, this goes that. But the robot's watching you until it picks up on what you're doing, and then it takes over that task. And so what the point of these robots is to take over all your remedial tasks. And so I'm not in on that. Okay?
You lie. You said you would get one.
I can see a flaw with that though.
What if it's sitting there charging, watching you do it?
This is a joke. Wait, this is a joke. I gotta finish the joke.
Finish the joke.
Sorry, I went off tangent.
So the question is, you go, okay, so when do you buy into robots if you're not in for what Elon's selling?
Oh,
right?
This is not a funny joke.
It's so funny. So I thought about it, and then I was like, okay, so I think it would be when you can pay for sex from a robot, but then when the robot takes you into the room, it just sits at the end of the bed and strokes your hair as you cry. And that's when I said I'd been on robots. See? It works. It's a good joke. Ha!
So my flaw with that is that... So I'll take you for an example, Derek. So you are what? 6 foot?
Sure.
5'11".
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. I'm 5'11".
He's 5'11", yeah.
How can a 3 foot robot put things on a top shelf?
Thanks.
I just wanted to listen to me cry.
I'm not worried about logistics.
I'm not worried about the laundry.
So, back in the UK, there was a series on Channel 4, can't remember what it was called, but it was about when we had robots that were literally looked like humans.
Oh, yeah.
Can't remember what it was called.
AI
It was a dog?
Yeah, it was very dark.
Wait, what?
Very dark.
What was it called?
I can't remember.
It was a documentary.
Thanks, Mum.
Sorry about that.
Wait,
mate.
was it a movie or a documentary?
No, it was a series.
Black Mirror?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't Black Mirror. It was
Black Mirror-esque.
But it was Black Mirror-esque. Yeah.
Okay.
You could quite easily see stuff like that happening.
It is happening.
It is happening.
It is
Scary.
happening. And what about when you go to sleep and that robot plugs itself into your brain and it's seeing all your weird twisted dreams and then starts acting them out in real life, and then you get all creeped out,
Or just
and then
starts
it kills
acting like you and replaces you.
Exactly. And what if Derek didn't know that I'd been replaced by the robot? Because
I would know, because it'd be
you
like...
wouldn't know.
No, because I'd be like...
Because he would know, because it would get up on the first alarm.
Yeah. No, I'd be like this. I'd be like, Neve, what are you hopeful for? And it'd be like, well, I'm actually hopeful for this. I'd be like, you're a robot.
You have a soul.
Yeah, you have a soul. Neve likes her coffee black. It has no hope. It's like Twitches. It's like, I was trained to have a soul.
Cannot compute. Yeah, that could happen. More tequila, folks?
Sure, yeah. Like,
Oh, go on then.
okay, but
Right.
but I just, yeah, I think the main point of that, what are you hopeful for, is I feel like I'm trying to shift my own brain into that thinking, and that's, I guess, why I do a lot of it. But like, it's a thing of like, I think you ask people that, and it's, for example, both of you, it caught you off guard, like you had to think of it where you'd assume being hopeful is you're like, when you're daydreaming with hope. You would assume, not that you do, but
I will say this on the last note of this before we do our shot. I agree with what you're saying about having a more positive outlook and being able to think that way. I like to think of it in terms of gratitude rather than hopefulness. In terms of things of you're grateful that you have, and I don't think that means you shouldn't aspire or shouldn't be hopeful or shouldn't have goals, but I think you should also be very aware of what you have right now and what you're grateful for right now.
yeah, I agree.
Because, you know, we're living in a 2-bedroom rented apartment with toys all over the place because we have a baby and jobs that we have to go to, because if we don't, we can't afford life. but at the same time, like, I love our lives because
yeah, of course,
I have everything I need. I
also like
right
my
here,
job
you
too.
know? I love my job. I love my job. If you love your job,
it's got to be individual, hasn't it? It's got to be. And I think, you know, maybe my wording of selfish is the wrong thing, but I've never looked to be influential and powerful in a political sense. I've been influential in lots of people's lives because of the job I do.
Yeah, but it's individual, and
it's individual, and I you know, if I could count the time that somebody said thank you to me,
and that means a lot.
That, and it's not why I do the job that I've done, but when it happens, it's really nice.
You're in the same boat as me. I think there's an underlying to doing something where you help other people for your job, that on the hard days when your job sucks, because I think every job, like, a job sucks. The idea of you have to do this or else, it sucks. Like, it doesn't mean your job sucks, but just that idea of, like, so you're inevitably at some point going to wake up and not want to go to work. And on those days, to have the ability to, like, be like, that sucked, but then you're like, oh, well, I help people all day. It just makes that a little easier.
And it's you know, I don't have to go to work. I have to work every day, but I don't have to go anywhere.
Yeah,
you know, and I love the, you know, the flexibility that I can come out to Canada with an 8-hour time difference.
That's so crazy.
And have an employee that goes, do you know what, that's Jules, we know you'll get it done, and the trust that's given to me, I'm really grateful for that.
Employers really make a difference to your work life. Could you
do your job like this pre-COVID, or is this like a newer phenomenon for your job?
I think it's a newer phenomenon.
It is a cool
phenomenon.
I've said this since COVID started, and they had the work from home. Super sarcastically, it turns out people that, like, get degrees and get their jobs will just show up and do their job. Like, I feel like there was this thought of, like, if you don't lock people in their workplace, they won't show up and do their job. But most productive people, like, they will show up.
I think in my particular job, as a social worker, COVID did impact, not on me per se, in terms of I can work from an office, I can work from anywhere, but if I'm actually working as a social work practitioner, you cannot assess what's going on in somebody's home from outside of it.
Oh, of course.
So if you're thinking of things like child protection, domestic violence, you can't assess a situation through a window, through a doorway. So that, I think that, you know, and it kind of links to what you were saying before about a lot of focus on women living with domestic violence, which is less on mental health.
Yeah, just to caveat that, like, that was a thing. It wasn't like that wasn't a thing.
It absolutely was a thing. Because if you're in that difficult situation and then COVID hits, you're still in that difficult situation.
100%.
And
you can't leave.
All the time.
So in terms of, would I have had the flexibility to do this job pre-COVID? I don't know, because I started this job after COVID.
So sorry, what I was meaning more was like the, like, work here or be here and work back home.
Yeah, well, I did, because I came out here, didn't I?
Pre-COVID?
No, just after COVID, but at that time I was working with the MOD, Ministry of Defence.
Yes, you were.
And I was still able to do my job from here, but that's because I'm in senior management now. As a practitioner, absolutely not.
I feel like you can earn that level of trust when you work somewhere for a long time.
Yeah, I think it depends on your work ethic as well.
Yeah.
You know, if I'd have come out here the first time I came out here to work, for my current organisation, which is a charity,
You proved you could.
I proved I could.
Yeah.
And so they now trust me. And I don't take the mickey. I come out for 3 weeks at a time.
Mm-hmm.
But you work every day.
But I work every day.
Yeah, it's, I don't know. First off, I strongly believe, like, I think if I was a billionaire, like, so, well, I shouldn't say billionaire, just unlimited money. I think you have a period where you don't work because, like, especially being all of us, because we're like, oh my God. But I think at a certain point, you'd kind of be like, I want to do something. Like, I think there is an underlying to most people, like, you have, like...
You want to keep stimulated.
I would argue, assuming you don't have some mental illness or, like, something that's trauma to you, if you just sit around and hang out and drink, and I'm not even saying, like, bad, like, getting hammered, like, you're just, like, existing, I think that can put you into a really depressive, like, you're a bad person, not like bad, like, oh, you're awful, but like you're not like this upstanding person you'd want to be.
Yeah.
And it's all based off of this like lack of doing things just kind of makes you go into a pit.
Yeah.
I can't, and it's that bit about you need something to stimulate you.
Yeah. 100%.
Well, because I remember the first time you came out and visited me after COVID, you were like, oh, I'm like getting to retirement age, so I'm probably going to retire. And then within like 6 months of you saying that to me, you're like, oh yeah, got a new job. And I was like, okay, guess retirement's out the window then. Yeah.
Well,
but I appreciate that as well because, I've just had a year off on mat leave, and you do, like, you miss and as much as I love spending all day every day with Juliet, you miss that
need that
brain
adult
stimulation.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. When I first met Neve, one thing I always liked about her, like, that actually attracted me to her was that she would always show up for her work at Jack's because it was just a bar job. You like could have easily oh, I'm hungover, but she'd always just show up, and that says a lot about a person. Like, oh, I'm gonna show up because I have to be there. Like that's why I committed to being there. I'm gonna be there. That's one thing I kind of laughed at with Sim and his knees. Like I'm in favor of Sim should just get his knees replaced.
Me too.
But just his whole thing of like, I can't miss work. I can't be off that long.
Yeah.
It speaks to like his personality, right? Whereas like there's some people like
who will milk the system.
I sneezed. I'm not gonna work for 9 weeks.
Honestly, I've worked with families where there are generations of people who have not worked.
Yeah.
Who have just simply not worked.
It seems that's impossible to me. That's impossible. So I literally will always work.
Okay, right, let's take a tequila shot and then I'm going to continue this conversation. Okay, we're going to slam this one.
Are we going to slam this one?
Yeah.
Oh,
I put a slam in there.
Did you put a slam in it? I was going to say.
Gingery.
Okay, gingery slam.
Wait. What kind of tequila?
This is a Respirado. No, this is Anejo.
Anejo, that's pineapple, isn't it?
Anejo, no. Anejo, no, that's... Ananas.
Oh well, whatever anejo is.
Cheers.
I reckon we should have yogurt that one. That was pretty rank, wasn't it?
I don't like anejo.
I don't know why we didn't yoga all of them.
We should have yogurt that one. No, the almond one didn't need yogurt.
No, that was delicious.
That's true.
Okay. Here's what I'm gonna say about work ethic is that when I grew up, I had to take a lot of time out of stuff because I had to, because I was in hospital, I was getting these tests and blah blah blah. So now I am always erring on the side of I don't want to take time unless I have to, because when I do have to, like, I really have to. And you remember when I was a kid, I would stick, even when I was at university, I wouldn't go to the doctors until I was like, I need to be in hospital now. Which also isn't a great trait to have. It isn't a good
thing, no.
It isn't a good thing, but when you grow up in it. And then seeing you as well, you have a great work ethic. Dad has a great work ethic too. So like seeing that as well, you don't want to be the person who is like too tired to go to work. But like, which is ironic because having an autoimmune disease, I am sometimes too freaking tired to be there. And I would push through and push through because you see all these people who would get shit for not showing up. So you're like, okay, well, I'm always going to show up. And then until I was up at points, like, I remember this one time I was in London at a restaurant opening. Do you remember that? For the diner? And I was in London at a restaurant opening event, and I'd worked like a 12-hour shift or something to open this London restaurant from Southampton, and they put us up in a hotel, and they all went out drinking afterwards. I was like, I can't even drink, guys. I'm just going to go back to the hotel and pass out. And then the next half of the day, I went into work, and I slept in a booth in the restaurant for like 4 hours, called up Mum. I was like, Mum, I need to go to hospital, like, now. And I had to, like, I got the train straight back to the Oval, went into hospital that day, and I was in there for, like, 3 months after that?
Yeah,
something like that.
It's a long time.
And it's, like, that's not a smart thing to do, by the way. Like, that's not a smart thing to do. But it's really hard to take time off when you know that you're gonna have to take time off for an extended period of time because of something completely out of your control.
Right.
And you don't want to like milk it.
It was all. So from my perspective, it was almost like saying to Neve, get treatment when you first notice the symptoms coming. Do not wait until the treatment requires you to be in hospital.
Prehab.
Yeah.
It's like you preventative care. It's I'm a big believer.
Prevention's far better than cure.
The entire healthcare system will never ever change until they start telling people to take care of themselves prior to having a headache or prior to that stuff.
Well, it's really interesting because I've done a couple of one-to-ones with my staff this week while I've been working over here, and both of them are kind of getting stressed about stuff, and I'm going like, just stop and be kind to yourself. My favourite saying as a manager is to say to people, do not get bent out of shape. If we've got workload pressures building up, you getting stressed isn't going to change the amount of people that are coming over our door.
Yeah, it's
if I'm not getting bent out of shape as your manager, then you need not to.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta take this dog out.
Getting bent out of shape.
Because this dog's gotta go pee.
Okay, I've also got pee.
Okay, so.
Right, that would be my cell.
6-layer dip is bullshit. We only do 7-layered in this house.
Yeah.
Alright.
Fuck yeah.
Okay. Next week on the pod, we're comparing 6-layer dips instead of tequila.
Yeah.
With 7 layers.
You gotta come back next week on Thursday, and then you can be our only reoccurring guest.
Recurring guest.
Did we just do a shot of tequila? Because I think we need...
I think we probably need another one.
I think we probably need another one right now. This one is called...
I have to help move tomorrow at 9:30. It's gonna suck.
Okay, good luck with that.
Yeah.
Durazno. This one's called... No. It's called Durazno. Durazno. Yeah, I can read it. I can read.
Oh no, you haven't really proved that today.
She's right. It does say Durazno.
Thank you. I can
Connata. Netto. No, that's Netto.
Okay.
Ooh, I have no clue what that is.
Right. Nobody knows what it means. You smell it first.
Fruity. Some kind of fruit.
Good.
Some kind of fruit.
It's probably guava.
Ooh.
Here, let's see.
Smells really good.
Does smell? It's fruity.
Durazno. It says Durazno.
It's got a bird on it. I think it's bird flavored.
Owl.
Crisp
Does
owl.
it not say on the boxes?
Owl flavored.
Owl.
Probably, but I didn't take notice of the boxes.
when there's alcohol inside, Mum, you don't take notice of the box.
I can understand why this might have scared Juliet.
Oh, no.
Okay, so for the listeners who can't see what this is.
For the listeners, this is an owl.
Owl.
Or an owl, as
Owl.
Juliet says.
Owl.
And you put your hand up its backside, and there's a stick in the middle of it, and you can swivel the head all the way round.
Yeah, the head
You can do that with me too, fun fact.
I don't know if that's something I want to know about my dad.
No, it's again, going back to the whole soulless thing. Yeah. Just keep stacking here.
It was because the thought that crossed my mind earlier when we were talking about coffee and you said French vanilla, that just sounded like European sex.
Yeah. Go on, mind your back.
But now I've had 1 tequila, 2 tequila, 3 tequila, 4, I feel brave enough to say that.
Go on, Mum. Go on, Mum.
God damn it! Can we let's rewind the podcast?
God, I hope none of my employees are listening.
Well, I mean,
Don't worry, Mum. No one's listening.
We have 0.007 of our listeners are non-binary and from India.
So, right, okay.
Yeah.
And I'm one of your listeners.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, cheers to that.
Cheers.
That was nice.
Oh.
It's like candy.
Yeah.
That's like peachy.
It is peachy. It's very peachy. Maybe durazno is peach.
Maybe durazno is peach.
Wait, say it Spanish though, because...
Is anyone's phone here? Hey Siri. Hey Siri. What does durazno mean?
Okay, I don't care that much.
I do. This is why when our podcast becomes mega and we have 4 listeners, we have to hire a Jamie. Do you know what a Jamie is?
I know. No. It's a dude that does the research. It's not
just
that
someone that's on the computer that's off. They don't have a mic. And then we go like this, like, what's durazno? And then they bring it up and we can look at it.
It is peach.
Is it?
Oh.
Wow. Spanish and you didn't even know it.
Are you Spanish?
No, it's actually a Chinese peach. First domesticated in...
What's it doing in Mexico?
In China. Hang on, I'm going to go into more now.
See, the world at our fingertips right here, right now.
Back in my day.
It's peach. Basically, it's peach.
See, back in my day, there was only 3 fruits. Strawberries, bananas, and apples.
Back in your
Durazno refers to peach and is widely used in many Latin American countries such as Mexico, Peru, Argentina, Chile, and Uruguay.
There you go.
Uruguay's not.
Peach tequila.
Uruguay's not
really
Latin.
Delicious. I bet you I could chug the rest of that bottle of tequila.
I know.
Fun fact about Uruguay.
What?
Is it?
First team to ever win the World
Yeah, I did know
Cup.
that. Another fun fact about Uruguay. You're a gay.
Oh my
Somebody
goodness.
stop him, please.
That one was directed
officer.
straight at Lewis.
Arrest
Black
him,
Lewis.
officer. Gay Lewis.
No, Black Lewis.
You don't know Black Lewis.
Yeah, but I was shooting that heat
What
at
you
him.
heard about him?
Okay, Julie, I just want you to know we're also doing Person of the Week, and you have to do a Person of the Week. So.
Gosh, I have to do
Okay, you
person
can
of
do
the
it
week.
after your next shot of
But
tequila.
we're not done yet. We're not wrapping up. We're only an hour 40 in.
Okay.
Oh, is that
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
That's been a long one.
First, okay, well, we've just done a shot of tequila, and I think it's time for one of the subjects I prepared.
Oh, go on then.
And then after the next shot of tequila, we'll do Person of the Week.
Well, I'm not saying we have to wrap it up. I'm just giving you the heads up
I
because
don't-
it's because you don't want to be put on the spot.
I haven't prepared anything.
See?
Okay, well, you got to do it on the spot then.
See, this is what we do to our guests. You're our first. This is what we do to them. We torture them. We put them on the spot.
Torture them with saying nice things about people. Okay, so here's a subject.
All right.
Hang on.
Thank you. Tattoos.
How do you pronounce them? I say it tattoo. Tattoo.
That's the subject.
Oh, right.
Okay.
So
Oh,
this
that's
is
a super
question.
broad. That's a super broad subject.
No, I was talking to
Your mom.
no. I was talking to my colleague
About
today,
this.
and the weird thing about some people, and a lot of people who don't have tattoos will come up to you and they'll be like, "Oh, do your tattoos have meaning?" And my answer is no, because a lot of my tattoos are kind of shitty. But I also think there's for me, there's this representation behind tattoos of, if you ask me about each one of my tattoos, I can tell you exactly where I was when I got it, exactly what stage of my life I was in, what I was feeling at the time when I got that tattoo, and it brings back a kind of relevance of, you know, when you say when you massage people, you can trigger points that bring back memories to them. So for me, it's kind of the same with tattoos, because your tattoos bring back memories to you. And even sometimes if you're like naked in the mirror and you like catch sight of a tattoo that you don't normally see, you're like, haha, I remember that point in my life.
So wouldn't that mean they aren't shitty tattoos?
No, I mean, some
well,
are
Nemo.
kind of,
Let's be honest, a Nemo's pretty
that's
shit.
not
What?
the shittest one I got.
No,
Let's be real.
No, I think that's one
Let's
of her
be
best
real.
ones because her and Sim both have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or are you referencing
But that's,
the way
again,
your tattoo is styled?
I mean the quality of the tattoo.
The only one I
Some
think is
tattoos are
bad is
shitty.
this one.
That well, you should have seen what it was before.
Well, I know what it was before, but it
Yeah.
still looks bad.
Yeah, this bit doesn't look nice,
Yeah,
but
but I know what it was for. That's why.
it's not about how good the art is. I mean, I would prefer it if they were all great art, but it's all a point in your life that you remember, and that means something
Means
to
something
you.
to you,
Yeah.
I agree. I remember talking to a guy who tattooed my shoulder in Amsterdam. I've got
Your
Sim's
butterfly.
No, my
Oh,
butterfly
no.
was my first tattoo.
Yeah,
no,
no.
I've got Neve
Oh,
NJS. So Neve, Simo, Julie.
That's your name.
That's what it is. Bloody hell. And I was talking to him, and I quite like it as a tattoo because he designed it for me.
Yeah.
It's not great fancy. It's just got a little few stars around it. And we were talking, and he was saying, at the time I had a butterfly tattoo, but I hadn't had
The touch up.
yeah. And the hibiscus that I got done in Hawaii. And I was saying, oh yeah, that's a bit old now, and we were just chatting, and he said some people go like for themes. I've never gone for themes. I've just got tattoos that I like and that mean something to me, and that's what he was saying. It's your story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So my butterfly, I got done when I got divorced before I married Sim,
Okay.
and it was kind of like a symbol of freedom
Yeah.
to me at the time.
Yeah.
My latest tattoo is Juliet's name and birth date.
Yeah. And that's a huge significant
Yeah,
meaning. Yeah.
and I do think no matter, I don't care what people think about me having tattoos or not, because I haven't got them for anybody else but me.
Yeah.
And so, and it was, but the funniest, and I love this, because on my back I've got a massive tattoo of a liver bird.
Hell yeah! You'll never walk alone, baby.
And you'll never walk alone under it. And I've got the 6 stars for each European Cup that we've won. But I'll never forget. And I even know, I can't remember quite what year it was, but it was the year that Trump was first elected.
2016.
So 2016, I'm out in the States.
So sorry, I sounded like a real redneck because I knew the year.
Ding, 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 ding. And I'm sat sunbathing at a pool, and this woman says to me, she said, oh, that's a big tattoo on your back. She said, oh, I bet you regret having that done when in your youth. And I went, actually, love, I had it done last year. and on her face, she just cracked up.
It's such a bold statement to walk up to someone and say, I bet you regretted that.
It's such an unnecessary statement to go up to someone and comment about anything on their body.
Yeah. But
period.
But I was great because I just said, well, not really. I only had it done last year.
Yeah, I want some tattoos. I've got a few lined up. One of them being once Liverpool wins the EPL, I'm going to get the You'll Never Walk Alone.
I think you should get that anyway.
Well, I know I should,
Yeah.
but it's just kind of convenient. We're probably gonna win it this year. So, I got it because we won. But yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
The only thing that's weird is where I wanted to get my tattoo. Dax literally just got it.
Yeah.
So like
You can get little munchies.
I know. It's just it'll be weird. It's not. But it's not weird. It's not at all because Dax got it he's a Liverpool supporter and he got it and it's his dog died and he has this dog's paw, so he says you'll never walk alone, which I'm gonna get for Newell, but not with the paw. And so it's a thing. It's not like it's like anything. It's just I'm like, oh, it's weird, but I know it's not.
Yeah.
But you can understand why. Like you get the same tattoo as someone in the same place and you know them. It's a little weird, but it's not. It doesn't matter, but just in your own head, you're like playing it that way.
I think, you gotta just do what you want for the individual.
I do like, so just so you know, I was back and forth between, on my calf, I want to get You'll Never Walk Alone, but I don't know if I want to get the full wording or YNWA. But I've decided I'm getting full wording now. After seeing it on Dax, I think it looks cooler.
It does look
It looks
good,
really good,
So when I got my Live a Bird on my back and You'll Never Walk Alone, I was very, very chill. I was getting it done. I was almost asleep, but Sim had come with me. Your dad had come with me, and he's halfway through. He goes, "Why have you got yawn tattooed on your back?"
What a dick.
But fortunately, the guy that was tattooing me was a Liverpool fan, so I knew that he would not get that wrong.
Imagine.
But can you imagine?
My quad
That's such
one,
a dad move to
My quad one it's 8-7 or 7-8. What is it? It's August 7-8. Yeah, so
or 8-7. I don't know how you guys write the dates here. So
yeah, it's so weird.
They switch it over.
It's August 7th, so 7th.
But I don't. Yeah, but
so whatever it is, it's like X or V.
Okay, yes,
333 or V double.
Yeah.
And my buddy that I was getting when I was getting it done, it's Dylan. He works at the tattoo shop, so he was like hooking me up. I just had to pay the guy. I didn't have to pay for all this stuff. He comes in and he's just staring at me. He's like, "How many lines were supposed to be in the first one?" And I was like, "Why?" And he's like, so let's say it was 8. It's supposed to be 8-7. He thought it was supposed to be 7-8. And so it was fine. We had all sorted it, but then he walked in and thought that he did it wrong, and you could just see on his face, like, I don't know, they fucked up his tattoo.
Oh.
And he was like that, and I was like, what? And he's like, what are the numbers? I was like, no, you're wrong. Like, I told him, you're wrong. Don't worry. But you could see at that moment of like, oh my God, I think you got the wrong tattoo.
So it wouldn't matter, wouldn't it? Because if it was Roman numerals, 8, V would be V. III.
Yeah.
7
It's VII.
would be VII. If they got them muddled up, you could just say, I've had it done the English way.
That's true. That is true. That's very true.
Because Canadians say August 8th, 2025.
Whatever, yeah.
But we say the 8th of August 2025.
Yeah.
So, and that's the only difference.
Yeah.
But it does always confuse me
We do
still to
muddle
this
up the
day.
the month and the...
But I feel like those, if they put the 7 in the...
But that is a good point. You could do that.
You could just blag
it. So I didn't realize this. When you pay for like an hour session.
Yeah.
So I think I could get a whole bunch, the tattoos I want, I think I could get them all in one go. Because I want to get one on my calf, and then I want to get the Juliet one, but I just don't want to get it in English. I want it in some script of some kind.
You don't want it in English?
Yeah, I don't just want it in like English with like cursive.
Why don't you get it in...
No. You want it in English language, but a different font. Yeah? You want it to say Juliet. You don't want it in a different... You want it in a different font?
I don't know. Maybe
you want it in like Arabic or like...
I wouldn't want it in Arabic.
Chinese
or Sanskrit.
Yeah, maybe. So a different font.
Yeah.
Not, but you still want it in English. You don't want it in French.
Because it would be Juliette.
Yeah.
No. Because
you have to have an accent over the...
Do you want it to say Juliet?
You do realize if it was in Sanskrit, it wouldn't be in English at all.
It wouldn't be in English if it was in Sanskrit.
Yeah.
What's Sanskrit?
Sanskrit's like Indian language. Indian, like, you know,
It's
like
an Indian
India.
dialect.
It's like they're.
I
like,
thought it was a font on
No,
Microsoft
no, no,
Word.
no, no.
like when you're
So,
like.
oh no, that's
like
Sanskrit.
Sanskrit.
Oh, that's different to Sanskrit.
You're thinking of
No,
Sans,
you're
S-A-N-S.
Oh, I
saying
think
it
it's a.
wrong.
I'm thinking of Comic
Comic
Sans.
Sans.
Yeah. Sanskrit is
Sure
Sanskrit.
you're my daughter.
So you want it
There's
in
no
a different
script.
language? Why do you
Yeah.
want it in a different
Hieroglyphics,
language?
Neve.
No, because
Wouldn't you
I
look
don't
in
think it looks good
hieroglyphics?
in English. No, sorry. I don't want.
It's our daughter's
I don't-
name.
No, I don't. I want it, not her name, but I want it to like. I wouldn't want just Juliet here because I want to get it right here.
So
you'd rather have some random
I'm still
language
thinking
that
it
you
through.
don't
Okay,
speak?
you're grilling me too hard on something I haven't thought too
No,
much
I
about.
think
do
that's
you not
lame.
do you not think hieroglyphics would be cool though?
Yeah, see, like something like that.
No.
Or what if I made up a language and then I?
No.
What if I made
don't.
up a language and then I go and
No.
put that?
I don't. I think if it's. I think if
Well, I don't
it's
think
your.
you're cool.
Okay, that's fine with me.
No,
but I
you're-
think
no.
if it's your
Would you
daughter's
not?
name, that yeah, but that's not my daughter's name.
No.
So what, you want me to put
It's not
Jafar and
what
say that's our
NEVE.
daughter's name?
No, that's yours and Dad's initials and
Yeah.
my initial.
So do you not? Oh, I see.
Which I think is cool and relative because we've been to Egypt together. If you get our daughter's name in some random Indian language, then what is
All right,
like?
fine. Let's go to Portugal, and then I'm gonna get you
No,
into
excuse me.
Portuguese.
No domestics, please.
No. But I should be able to say like I think it's dumb.
No.
I think you're dumb.
No.
No,
No, you
I think
can-
you,
you
what,
can
why
have
do you?
it.
What's this
You
say?
could have a difference
He
of
whose arm
That's
is
opinion.
dumb.
raised to the east.
That's dumb.
Like cool that you think they're like, but we made a baby and like we made a baby and we decided on her name together and that her name meant a lot because it's your mom and my mom. So why would you not want to get that in English and why would you want to get it in a language that you don't even know and has no relation to you whatsoever?
This is so good after her talking about how she doesn't give a fuck about anyone else's thoughts on their...
And
Why would you get that after I just
I
said?
don't think you should give a fuck about anyone else's thoughts apart from mine because I'm your partner and I'm the person who you made the
Why?
baby with.
Because I don't want Juliet, and I don't think it has anything to do with our daughter. It's not like if it was like John or Kevin or some Miles or
No.
whatever. Like, it doesn't change the name. I just wouldn't want some cursive English language tattooed there. I think.
You don't, why? Who says it has to be cursive?
But do you not think?
I-
do you not
why-
think, though? Excuse me, while you two are having a domestic. But do you not think we just had a conversation about tattoos being really personal to you and meaning
Yeah.
something for you. Now, if I saw, I'm trying to kind of be objective here, but if I saw somebody who had something tattooed across the heart, or not across their heart, obviously, because the heart is inside the body and not outside. But if I saw somebody that had a tattoo there, I'd know it was meaningful. And it might prompt conversation about, oh, what does that say?
Yeah.
And then you have a conversation. Where if I just saw something and it was a name, I'd go, oh yeah. That's
Why
me.
does it matter to you?
So I think
After
no.
gave
I'm
a
just,
speech
like-
about why it doesn't matter.
we're ganging up on you here.
No, you can, and I shall fight my corner. Okay, what does Indian Sanskrit, what does that meaning have to you?
To me?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I have the Vedas over there.
I read a book.
I suppose.
What? Okay, well, yeah,
No,
if you
but
want
is
to
it-
know, I
is-
think if you actually want to know,
I
I
do
think
wanna know, that's
I
why I'm
think that
asking.
the closest thing to what we know to be like consciousness and how the way of the universe works is through Hindu. But I don't know 100% that. I just think that's, from what I've read and understood, that so far makes the most sense to me. And I think it's a really cool, beautiful language.
I just
Okay,
had a
cool.
thought.
Like that's like I'm just like that's all you have to say. Because why would you want to get our
daughter's name in something that doesn't mean anything to you, and you just explained why it means something to you.
Okay, what if I just said
So
that I think it
cool.
looks cool, but there wasn't the other
Then
stuff?
I would say I think it's dumb.
So I just had a thought while you were talking then.
And
So-
Neve's wrong, we know this.
No, it wasn't about you being
No,
wrong.
you're objectively
No,
wrong.
it was yeah, it was a thought about what is the indigenous language of Canada?
Oh, there's many.
So
Well, there's many.
All right then, what is the indigenous language of BC?
There's many. Because it's
Well-
all about
Yeah.
tribes, right?
Yeah. So okay.
Well, do you
so
want my opinion?
go on?
I think it's English. Yeah.
Cancelled.
Because when we're talking indigenous, if you want to go back to the first people here, then of course we have to change the language. But Canada was founded on English language.
Yeah.
That's true. That's very true.
So
Yeah.
it's like I guess you'd have to define indigenous, but I strongly feel so. I'm not against speaking to the past and talking about all the stuff that happened in the past, like colonialism stuff. But I don't really think we should focus too much on it, because I think it's very counterproductive to forward society, and and that's a harsh thing to say. And I'm a white English European, so I guess I probably have a huge bias to that. But the reason I say that is because if you acknowledge it, of course, I don't think you should not acknowledge it. Okay,
Yes.
I'm not saying like deny the past.
No,
Like
history is very important.
and I'm not saying it wasn't real, but I think if you start delving too deep into the history of what happened to people, and especially let's say the indigenous people, so like someone like Neve's friends Benita, what happened in the past to her, you're kind of just bringing up, in my opinion, this past trauma and like kind of rubbing it in their face and making them feel a way that doesn't help them going forward. Being like, the white person came and did this to you and screwed you over and did this. I don't think telling people that like gets Canada forward. Maybe if you're trying to think of as indigenous, not as Canadians, but if we're trying to get Canada forward, I think it's very divisive. So that's why when you say that, I say English is the language. Yeah.
I think it's hard.
Or
Isn't it? I
French.
think we can't change history.
No.
But if
Learn
we
from
obliterate it, we don't learn from it.
Absolutely.
Facts.
Yeah.
And that's what we need to do, is we need to go, okay, what happened then? It was of its time. Nowadays we say,
We know that's
gosh,
wrong.
that wasn't okay, but we can't be apologetic about it, because that was about our ancestry, not about where we are
Where we're
now.
right now, yeah.
And so we need to. How did this come from tattoo?
I think
Doesn't
you
matter.
need to
Just
you
this-
need to acknowledge
Julie, this is
Acknowledge it,
podcasting.
but acknowledge
Podcast,
it.
baby.
Acknowledge it, but don't obliterate it, because if you obliterate it, we'll repeat it.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Hence my comment about, in some parts of Western society today, it's like 1930s Germany.
Yeah. It's
about to say something
Shall I
so
go ahead,
inappropriate.
I mean, we're about 2 hours in, so I
Okay,
only think Joey's still listening.
Also, Joey.
Shout out Joey.
Hi, Joey.
Joey, just for the record, I wasn't trying to shit on you about having Julia in a different language. I just wanted to know why that
You
was a
wanted to
meaningful thing.
understand it.
Because our daughter is the most meaningful thing. So I was like, why you gotta do it in a different language? And then you explained it, and that makes sense. But I just wanted to know why.
Tequila.
Tequila.
Da, 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 da.
But yeah,
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
I agree with you. I think like if you don't acknowledge the past or learn or like keep bringing up the past, you're just bound to repeat it. But I also think that there's just, again, like I spoke to earlier, like divisiveness. The way I view it is, this happened at my barbershop, and I love my barbershop, so it's not a comment on them. It was the person in the chair. There was this little native boy getting his hair cut. I'm going to say he was 12. And then my barber was sitting there talking with this native guy, and he was the father of a 12-year-old, whatever that is. He wasn't a young guy. He wasn't super old. And I had my headphones on, and right when I walked in, I was like, yo, what up, Rex? And I dapped him up, and then I just sat in the chair I do. But as soon as I walked in, I kind of felt like things were a little off. And Neve can attest to this. I'm very good at walking in a room, and I can kind of pick up on that kind of stuff, like instantly almost. Like it's like I honestly feel like it's magnetic. Like you can't force two magnets together.
Very empathic.
And so I could tell, and so right away I turned my headphones off, and I was just listening, and this native dude was literally like raging about white people stealing their land, and it shouldn't be called Canada, it should be called this, and he kept looking at me, like, as he was saying this stuff, and looking at me, and
that's super uncomfortable.
And and I'm just sitting there, and I was just like this on my phone. I was just paying attention to them, but just going like this, and I just couldn't help but think that, like, clearly this guy, again, kind of going back to like social media and stuff, clearly he'd just been like so entrenched in this like thing, because I know so many white people that are Canadians from all over the place that are like BC or Vancouver based, and I can tell you, like, I'm sure some of them are racist, maybe, but few and far between. Like, and that goes to, and then I have Chinese friends, Asian friends, black, like, and they're all just like normal people. And I just feel like sometimes people get so like caught up in these things that it goes a little overboard, where it makes me I just feel like we got to move forward, and it doesn't mean not acknowledging it, but yeah, back to the main thing. I think Canada's language is English. That's what I'm getting to.
Sick.
Yeah. Should we do a tequila?
Yeah, we got one more.
One more?
Oh, the last one.
Last one. Wow, I can't believe we got through them all.
The last milk. I thought we were going to be on the floor by now.
To be fair, your measures have only been half measures, haven't they, really?
Okay, you pour this one then, Mum.
Okay.
Let's
you
see
two
how
are
that
the only
goes.
ones that don't have to do anything tomorrow.
What do you have to do?
Move.
Oh yeah, sucks to be you. Me and Mum are gonna take Gigi out, get her a doll, and go to the tattoo shop.
Oh, we're going to the tattoo shop
you're getting
tomorrow,
a tattoo
I'm
tomorrow.
not getting a tattoo, but I would like to go to the tattoo shop to talk to the.
Which one are you going to?
She just poured the whole bottle into 3 shots.
Well, just for the listeners' pleasure,
Joke.
these bottles are. It's not like it's a whole bottle of tequila, really. Well, technically it is, but it's only about a 4-ounce bottle of tequila. It's 3 ounces, because it actually isn't 3 shots, and we'll give Derek the smallest shot because he's got to do stuff in the morning.
Because he's the biggest pussy.
I did not say that.
Cheers, Julie.
Cheers.
I'm glad you're on the podcast.
I love you. Happy Valentine's.
Oh, is this what Valentine's Day's like?
Oh, still Valentine's Day.
British crazy Valentine's Day.
Oh, that was nice.
Coffee one.
That was really nice.
See, that'll get you onto black. That was a black coffee one.
That was a black coffee.
That's what gets you.
So
onto
I got to
black
start
coffee.
drinking those things,
Yeah,
and then I'll
drink-
slowly
shove a
transition.
full
circle.
Cafe Patron in it.
And think of it, I'll show up at work hammered, and then slowly I'll be like, you know what, I'll just do black, because they're still
Yeah.
So slowly he just becomes an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The slow decline.
All right. I feel like we should do person and buy and sells of the week.
Okay.
Oh, because I've got to sell.
Okay, so let's start with our buy and sells of the week.
Okay.
I'm going to go over last week's. It was gross. Ugh.
You didn't like that? That was delicious.
No, it's a lot of
Didn't
tequila.
know that one.
Okay, so my buy of the week was the snow, and Neve's was Parents Landing. Oh.
That was my buy last week.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you. Because I haven't listened to that one yet, because I've been out
Well,
here.
there you go. Spoiler.
I listened to it in the car.
So buys of the week, I threw you in there, so you're on the list now. So,
Okay.
my buy of the week, I gotta say that Toronto game was pretty phenomenal. Like, I always love. I know Sim loves the hockey. I know you do too, but I know Sim loves the hockey, so I'm just happy he gets to see a good game.
Yeah.
But that was, I can't explain to you, like, I've been to a ton of hockey games. Still the best was when I was on the glass. The glass one was the best because when you got us, like, right by the bench.
Oh, yeah.
That was crazy. But that I think was one of the best hockey games I've been to, just because of the atmosphere.
Good.
That was your bye?
That was my bye. Toronto sucks.
Mum, your bye of the week.
So my bye of the week was actually Capilano.
Oh, what? Suspension?
Suspension bridge. Because Sue and I walked down there, and then we did that English thing, how much?
Yeah.
And we stood outside for 5 or 6 minutes debating. I messaged Neve and said, is it worth it?
I said do it once, but you probably won't need to do it again.
You couldn't ask me. I would have said no, but I'm just from here.
But for me, we went in, when we did the conversion, it wasn't as expensive as we thought.
$40.
Pounds, 40 of our English pounds. But I really enjoyed it.
Good.
They had it set up for Valentine's.
Yeah.
But it was just like the walks. I learnt loads about trees.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
trees are interesting.
Loads about trees.
There's tons of info about trees out there.
We're old growth here, right?
Yeah, the treetop walk was brilliant. And we spent a good couple of hours there.
Awesome.
We did try and say, if we said we lived at Neve's, could we have an annual pass? Because I would definitely go back there again. And I am so looking forward to taking Juliet there in about a year's time.
Awesome.
Because I think she'll love it. So that's my buy of the week.
Okay, sweet. I love that.
Right.
I love that. I'm glad to hear because for me, the suspension bridge is meh, but it's, again, I've seen it so many times. And so it's nice to know because when people come, I can say go see it.
Did you do like school trips there when you were a kid?
Oh yeah, it's a classic. Yeah,
it's like the class museum.
I would imagine it's a nightmare in the holidays, but it was
when you went across the bridge. Was it busy? Across
there
the
was
actual
maybe
bridge?
there was maybe 4 people on it.
Yeah, see,
Yeah,
when you
it's
go
busy.
across the bridge and it's busy, it swings.
Oh, it was still swinging.
no, and there's also just a ton.
But I could
When-
imagine.
No, but there's
when
a
there's
ton
a ton
of
of people,
it's
it's
not
like
it's like
scary.
It's not the same because you guys obviously got to look as opposed to being in the line
Just
of like
in a line.
step over step
No. We had it. It was really really nice, and they had it set up for Valentine's as well. So there's lots of love and lights and hearts. But you know what? I could imagine somebody who just taking their loved one there and
they jump off the bridge.
No, and they go through the tunnel of love and do a proposal or something like that. Tonight that might have happened.
About that?
Sorry, no, but I am a bit of a romantic, and it was just really really nice. So that's why it's my buy of the week.
All right.
You cynical, soulless daughter.
Yeah, I'm glad you can
I'm
agree.
sure you're mine.
All it took was 2 hours and 2 minutes to realize your daughter's soulless, but it's not bad.
So, okay.
It doesn't mean she's not a person. She just doesn't have a soul.
My my buy of the week.
Still haven't thought of one.
It's been a long. I'll tell you what my buy of the week was. We went to the aquarium on Sunday.
You did.
And actually, not even just the aquarium, but it's really nice for me to see Juliet with you and Dad.
Yeah.
And I think it's a really big buy for me because, and was also nice for me is to know that all the FaceTimes we do on a weekly basis, she recognizes you, and there was no kind of like, because I was worried, I was like, oh, is she gonna know?
Yeah.
But there was no like stranger danger. As soon as you and Dad came in, she was like, right, I'm ready for cuddles, books, all of this stuff. So that's really nice for me. And then we went to the aquarium, which was just especially nice because it's nice to see you interacting and doing stuff together.
Well, that's what's
so I think that's a good buy of the week for
absolutely.
me.
That's what's weird about so I don't know if you've heard me say this. I think we're becoming a global society. Even going back to what we were talking about with my like hopefulness, it's just this is the growing pains of like it's a little awkward for you, me, and the Chinese people to say, oh yeah, it turns out we're all the same people, because we are now. Like we're so interconnected.
Yeah.
But it's the growing pains of becoming a global society. But that's pretty fucking crazy, the idea of you can live in Little England and we can live in the smallest, farthest reaches of Vancouver, Canada. And because of our phones, because it's not just...
You're right, Derek. We're not in the, like, Yukon or our...
No, but we are. We're like... No, but like England's up here and Vancouver's down here. Like, it's so different. And our daughter knows exactly who you are because of tech. Like, that's crazy.
That is,
It's
and
impossible.
That is a crazy cool thing.
Because what was it, 1942? You go off to war, you write a letter, you might be dead if that letter makes it to the person.
Yeah, true.
That's crazy.
We're way more connected now than we were.
Okay.
Cells of the week, though.
I put scrap for baby. Oh, right. Juliet got in a scrap.
Was that... No, that was last week. Oh, wait, that was your cell last week.
My cell. It's not Juliet fighting that I'm worried about. I'm worried about the baby she's fighting.
Oh, you should be worried for that baby.
Oh no, Juliet got in a fight.
WWE.
If the teacher calls, she goes, Juliet got in a fight, and I go, is the other baby alive? Then Neve, yours was brutal. Snow ruined your first full week of work.
Yeah, that was brutal.
That did suck. All right. Anyone want to go first, or shall I?
You can go first.
You go first.
Okay, yeah, everyone wants me to go first on the cells of the week.
Yeah.
Of course. My cell of the week, let me think of it. Probably the fact that my soccer cleats still aren't here 2 months later now.
Has it really been that long?
I ordered them on the 15th
Have you
of
tracked
December.
them?
Yeah, they're in shipping. It just says in transit. But
Have you contacted the seller?
I'm just giving it time because of the Canada Post strike. They're
Are they still on
it should be
strike?
there by now.
No, they're not.
they're
They haven't
so
been on
far
strike
behind.
since, beginning of January, so you should really contact them. That's on you if you don't contact them.
Okay, yours or Julie's? What do we got going on here?
Do you do your cell, Mum?
I think my sell of the week is British Airways app.
Okay. Why?
Yeah, why?
And it's probably it's a kind of third party sell of the week really, because Sue and Dad were trying to check in last night.
Yeah.
Dad checked in, no problem. Sue, on the same app, could not check in. She could not check in last night. She cleared her cache history. She did all the things that you would do.
Why?
And she still couldn't check in today.
Weird.
This morning until she
That's
went
so
to the
weird.
airport. So and we had similar trouble on the way out. So British Airways, your app sucks.
Fix it!
And I'll have you know that I have silver membership now.
Oh.
So there.
Yeah, silver membership to a shit app.
I hate
Shit app.
how
We're allowed to say things like shit on the podcast.
We don't.
I want to get a beep out button, like the beep for swearing. But what I want to do is I want to do it right after people swear. So say you're like, that's bullshit. It's like, that's bullshit. Beep.
That would be cool. We were like that.
Yeah, the airline companies, I think it's such a that's such a garbage thing. Like, they can do whatever they want to you and tell you they'll refund you or they won't or blah, 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 all this stuff. And there's nothing you can do because you're at the mercy of them flying.
To be fair, after our Canada debacle last week, I went online today and said, and they have an eligibility compensation checker.
Yeah.
And we're eligible, so I've applied.
Yeah. You should.
Yeah, and if I hadn't had my other buy of the week, to be fair to Air Canada, although they delayed, then cancelled our original flight, they got us booked on quite quickly to the next available flight.
I'm sorry, I won't give them anything.
No, and then but then they delayed it again, which was a pain in the arse at the time.
But now you get money.
But now we're going to get some compensation back for it. And I think that the compensation that we're going to get back is going to be more than the flight cost. So result.
Whoa!
Fantastic.
So Air Canada. This explains
Free
Air Canada.
flights.
They're just giving you pay $50 for a flight and they give you $200 back.
Right. My sell of the week.
No. I think we're gonna wrap it up. That's all for today.
I don't even have a sell of the week, so.
Do you not?
Oh, I dropped my lunch on the floor when I got to work today.
Oh.
It's my sell of the week.
Okay.
I dropped my lunch on the floor. I didn't have any lunch.
Now
So
we're gonna wrap a few seconds here, but we have to do our person of the week.
So let's do a shot before that then.
No.
It was probably went on a bit longer because there was 3 of us.
It's not a problem.
So that's
that.
another extra person.
It's not a problem. I actually prefer them. I want to get them up to 3.5 hour podcasts. To be honest with you, I don't want any more.
3.5 hours.
I don't have any 3.5 hour car journeys though.
No, but if you're up to 3.5 hours, it means that you're having a good time, because that's the whole point.
Do you want a slam?
Yeah, we should have a slam.
Derek, do you want a slam, or are you done?
Son of a bitch.
Do you want a slam?
Are you doing?
Or do you want an almond one?
Or do you want an
I'll do almond one.
Yeah, Derek.
You don't. Is that the almond one?
Okay, so Neve's person of the week was Jamae.
Of last week?
Yeah.
Okay, what was yours?
Joey.
Oh, yeah.
Love you, Joey.
Okay, Mum, I think you should start off person of the week after the slammer, because you're the newbie.
Okay.
But should we slam first?
Whoa. I didn't get any slammer in mind.
You don't need it. It's almond.
almond.
You don't want
You don't need to slam an almond.
I thought the main point of slamming was the novelty of slamming.
Nah.
You can slam it, but it won't do anything.
Slam it, but it won't do anything.
I'll just put my fist through the wall and do the slam.
Okay, cool.
All right, let's go.
3.
1, 2, 3. Woohoo!
Yeet.
Whoop whoop. Oh, I've got to think my person of the week.
Okay, I'll go first then. Do you want some time?
No.
Okay.
I've got my person of the week.
Okay, go.
I know it's Valentine's Day, but I'm not going to say it's your dad, because he knows I love him. He is the love of my life. My person of the week is Juliet.
Oh,
I can't believe she hasn't been person of the week
she's
yet.
not.
And
She hasn't lived up
she's
to it
my
yet.
person of the week.
That's a good one. Damn.
Is because at the beginning of the week, she called Sue Goo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yesterday, she
For the
was
first
saying Sue.
Yep. She was.
I think that is blooming awesome.
All right.
Yeah,
All right. That's a
it
good.
is.
That's.
She is my person of the week.
And it
I
wasn't just
love her.
Sue, it was
Sue. And when she's old enough to listen to these podcasts and thinks, what are these old people talking all this bollocks about? And she'll be old enough
like
to
you,
know
Juliet.
what this bollocks about means. She'll go like, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, Nana. I'll be long gone by then, but she'll still say thanks, Nana.
Did you know that there's a potential future that by us having this podcast, so we'll record by what we are right now, the amount of recording we have of our voices and our thoughts in the future, you might be able to bring us back to life.
not me.
I'm just gonna
I don't want to be brought back to life.
It's not
I
about
wanna
you, it's about Jay. You won't care though, you'll be dead.
Jay will respect my wishes of not wanting to be
Jay, you can bring me
as...
back, sweetie. I love you and I'll be there for you.
Juliet, don't ever fucking bring me back. I don't want to be brought back. I don't want you to experience some fake version of me that isn't actually
Only
me.
bring me back if I black.
Bring your dad back if he's able to dunk.
Bring me back if I could dunk. I don't need to be black. I just need to be able to dunk.
You've just reminded me of look, there's my Pancake Friday.
Oh, she's a subscriber.
See,
Let's give her free stuff.
See, Neve, that's
you
our
get a
thing right now.
free
Yeah, give her a
knife.
knife. Give her a knife. Careful, don't cut yourself. We're not responsible for any damages.
There is on Audible.
Yeah.
There is and it's an Audible production. It's an English production with Lenny Henry, and a cast of 6 or 7, and it is all about AI and bringing people who have died so that you can have conversation, not back to life, but that you can have conversations with them.
Yeah, I think that's really fucked up.
Really, really, it's very Black Mirror-esque.
I think it's really fucked up, and I've thought it's fucked up since they brought back Carrie Fisher to Star Wars after she died. I thought that was a really fucked up move, and they've done so many fucked up things since then. Like, have Anthony Bourdain narrate his own documentary in his voice when he's dead. Like, fuck that shit. That's really fucked up.
But I want to ask you. Sorry, go on.
Sorry, I said fuck a lot.
This thing that as I say, Lenny Henry is the kind of known.
Yeah, everyone knows Lenny Henry. Premier.
It is very. It's really good.
Is it dark?
But it's very dark.
Yeah.
And it is about, so say your loved one dies, what you do is, before they die, AI records their voices, listens to them, does the nuances, so that once they've gone, you can go in and kind of talk to them.
That makes me feel sick.
No, but listen.
That makes me feel sick. That actually makes me feel sick.
Okay, this is something that I play over in my head a lot. How much of what you do you think is a unique thing?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's a unique thing, because it's you who said it. Because it's you who said it. Seen that Black Mirror episode where the dude dies in a car crash and then she gets an AI bot and it's like him, but it's not him.
No,
but
you can't. But what I think you're misinterpreting what I'm saying. So when I say what I mean by it is, like, not how unique is you saying, like, you say I'd go left, you're like, I'm the only person what goes left. I mean, like, what you think and believe and do, I think if you captured enough of what you say and do, you would start to have patterns. Like, oh, Neve reacts this way if you do this, this, and this. Yeah. Okay? Yeah. And then Neve thinks this way, period, about this. So what a good AI will be able to do is if you record enough of you, it'll be able to pick up on what makes you feel and think certain ways. So yes, you're not you, but your likeliness to yourself is so similar.
No. I've just found it. It's called Halfway.
Can you speak that into the mic? Tell them what they should look at. It's a podcast, you said? It's
an Audible book.
And what's it called?
Audiobook.
And it's called Halfway.
Halfway, and who's it by?
It's written by... Oh, excuse me. It's written by a guy called Michael Honor and Imelda Aloni.
Okay, I'm just gonna say this again. I think that's fucked up. I don't ever want for Juliet, for my mother, for my partner, who's you, in case you didn't know.
I thought you were talking to the wall behind you.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody to ever feel like they need closure, to feel like they need something from an AI that I couldn't give them in life. Like, if you know me, all your questions are answered before I die. Like, that's period. Like, I am how I am. I say what I mean what I say. So what do you have to talk to an AI about after I'm dead? Like,
yeah, but sometimes it's not about it. So this Halfway thing,
yeah,
it wasn't about the person that had died.
Yeah,
it was about the person that survived.
Still alive, yeah.
That was still alive, and how they wanted closure. Is not about a person that's gone, ever. Even now, forget AI.
I die right now. It's not about me anymore. Closure, it's about all you guys.
Closure is for the people that survive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but you have to be able to deal with that without that person, because that's what loss is. That's what loss is. You lose that person and you don't get those answers, and that's sometimes what happens, and you have to be able to deal with that.
And shit happens, and that's why that Halfway is so interesting. Because I have very mixed.
I don't fuck with it.
Very mixed feelings about it, and actually, it's a bit more sinister than just somebody feeling loss and needing to.
Yeah, because then the AI preys on that shit. The AI understands that that's what that person wants and will prey on that. No. And then it's not you. It's the AI that feels it. And AI is fucked and will try and control you and enslave you and kill you. Fuck that shit.
I disagree with you.
But the crux of that was the AI... was programmed.
Now to transfer to you. It just skipped. It's on her now. Don't come near me with those hiccups. Don't you dare come near me with those hiccups.
You've been taking a piss and it's gone from me now. Thank you. Thank you, Dora.
Welcome.
But the twist. you transferred it back. How very dare you? But the twist in that was that it wasn't the AI, it was about the human beings that were controlling the AI.
Because they think sinister thoughts and that makes the AI do the sinister
things.
Blah, blah, blah. The people were killing people. It
ended up that they were killing people to make the AI work.
People killing, people dying. See them hurting, hear them crying.
Anyway,
can you practice what you preach?
Let me ask you a question, okay?
Back to the question. What was the question?
I don't know.
So...
my person of the week.
So this is Julie. You're understanding the beauty of the podcast. It doesn't matter where we were.
It doesn't matter.
If we can wrap around to where we started, cool. But no cares.
No one's listening by this point anyway.
Joe, at this point, even Joe.
I think Joe just probably turned off by now.
Joe went to bed an hour and a half ago.
Did you know that having a guest now is just going to add a whole new dimension?
It is. We might be famous tomorrow.
No, Joey, I'll be honest with you. Joey wanted to come on. So we have the Joey one we haven't dropped yet. It's a 3-person circle. But Dax wants it to be edited, and I can't do the editing that Tep can do because he can put in like all these different transitions shit. I literally just put a compressor. A compressor makes it so if you're talking this quiet, it brings it up, and if you're talking too loud, it brings it down. Okay. So when you're listening, it like
compresses.
So note for Dax. The reason I don't listen to the Rain City Variety is because obviously it's about sport.
Because it's lame.
It's about no, because it's about sport I don't understand. But one of my favourite podcasts is from Peter Crouch. Dax, you know who Peter Crouch is, and it is like 3 guys sat in a pub in England talking about football, and it's brilliantly funny, not scripted, not edited.
But it's not. It's more just like I agree.
I think that's the best kind of.
But what it is, so Joey, we haven't released that one yet because it has to be edited still. But Joey wanted to come on this one. So now that you've come on it, I think it's gonna kind of have a cascade effect of guests. But what I wanted to say was basically towards Neve, because without her, she's the only one that. Okay, this is what I think about. It's to further that thought of like of your consciousness being put in something. I think it's basically I think it's every 120 days, but let's just give it a year. Within 1 year, you're literally not the same person you used to be because your cells like all shut off and switch, right? So with that thought in mind, what you're keeping is your cells keep memories and pass them on to the cells that are next to them to replace them, right? Mm-hmm. So if you keep that thought in mind, so think of it as a stack. So there's first 1 layer, and then 2, and then there's let's say there's 10 layers, and then as the 10th layer sloughed off, a new layer begins. The first layer, the new layer knows nothing. The 10th layer knows everything, like memories. We're talking memory, and it has to pass it on. So when you're the first layer, you know nothing. The second layer, then transfers that knowledge as you become the second layer as you go. Okay? So what's the difference between that and then putting your memory into a computer? When you think of it, it's like it's a sloughing off of layers, right?
No,
listen to what I'm going to say, okay? Because this and just for the record, Julie, so you know, I'm pro biology. I think you grow till you die. If you can make this body live for 500 years, cool, but I don't want me to live 500 years because I went into a computer.
Yeah.
Right? So Neve, let's say within a year all the cells in your body slough off and are new cells. Mm-hmm. Okay? Mm-hmm. So consciousness, your brain, everything that goes through that process of like old cells being replaced by new ones. So when you're talking about your memories being put into something, stop shaking your head until you at least hear what I'm saying. You have to at least hear what I'm saying first. So if let's say there's 10 layers of like
onion.
Yeah, okay, sure. No, 10 layers of memory.
I'm an onion.
So your 10th layer, when it has the most knowledge, and when it gets sloughed off for a new layer, but it's passed on like memories, right? So can you understand the progression?
I understand what you're saying.
So
I
how?
don't believe it.
Okay, okay, sure.
No. Carry on saying
No,
because
if you don't believe what I'm gonna.
No. Carry on saying what
I don't
you're
think
saying.
it matters if you don't like. I'm just gonna say and you go, no, I don't believe you. You haven't even heard what I said.
I believe consciousness is different to what your cells produce. So continue saying what you're saying, but I won't believe it.
Okay.
I believe it. You know, I'm listening. I'm open-minded.
Yeah, I'm not. You don't have to agree with me. You just have to listen to what I'm saying.
That's what I said. I said I'm going to listen to what you're saying.
So your memories, your brain, where your do you believe that's where your memories are held?
Obviously.
So your brain, the cells die and reproduce.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that the cells have to transfer memory through them. Right? They have to because sorry, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say so there is research and evidence. Mm-hmm. The brain is a fantastic organ, but it's not infinitesimal. So when it reaches capacity, try that word. That is a good word for somebody who's got hiccups, to tell you.
Thanks.
So your brain reaches a point where it does reach capacity, and so what happens is stuff goes in, you lose stuff.
You shed your skin like an arachnid.
Yeah, so it's the same as shedding skin. So what the brain does is it sheds what it considers the non-essential. And what AI does, or has the potential to do, is remember everything. Whereas your brain doesn't. If whether it's through age, through Alzheimer's, through acquired brain injury, there will be stuff that you forget.
You just naturally will.
Neve has memories of her childhood that I think, I don't remember that.
You can. It's impossible.
Because it's impossible. Because Neve's got 28 years of memory. I've got 64. So there will be something that I don't remember, and she goes like a flipping heck, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
But that's okay. But in an AI world, if an AI could plug yourself into its brain, your brain, Neve, as you're suggesting, it would only know and remember your memories at that time. It would not know everything about your life, because there will have been some natural wastage, for want of a better word, of memories.
Okay. Here's my question to that. When this AI plugs into your brain, supposedly.
Yeah. You suggested it.
No. Yeah, but does this AI, when this AI sees your memories, are they seeing it like a projection on a screen of like a movie of your memory, or are they seeing it
from your perception and what you remember of that memory.
I would imagine.
Because there's a big difference.
Absolutely. But I would imagine if it's plugging into your brain,
yeah,
it's going to plug into your perception.
But what is perception and what is consciousness, and can you define that scientifically? No. You can't. And even now to this day, people don't know what consciousness is. So, if you're watching a projection of things that I've seen from my perception as like my eyes are cameras, it's not going to be the same as what I'm thinking in my head.
It'll be perception, not emotion.
Exactly. And if you can't experience the emotion behind the perception, are you really conscious, and can you really relate to who I am as a human being?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Exactly. So that's my point, is like, if you want to, if I am gone, if I am dead, I am in the ground 6 feet under, then even if there's been a chip implanted in my brain for 10 years and it has seen everything that I've seen, is it going to see it the way I see it?
No. I don't.
So, therefore, if you
so.
had a conversation with this chip that had been implanted in my brain, are you going to get the full, authentic version of myself?
No.
No, you're not. So,
You need to listen to halfway.
I don't want anyone, after I'm gone, I don't want anyone to think that having a conversation with a half version of myself will give them any answers that they need. And I would rather address any goings on before that time passes. I would rather address any situations as my authentic self before that happens.
There will be situations and times where that's not possible. And I'll give you a real good local real life example.
Okay.
So sometimes, probably like you, because you are your mother's daughter.
Yeah, I know.
I can be.
It's not a bad thing.
Particularly strident in an email.
Mm-hmm.
So the other week, I was really pissed off about something, and I thought I'm going to send it. And I am very good at typing out an email, walking away, reflecting, coming back, taking the emotion out of it, but on this particular basis, I thought, do you know what? I'm going to use Chat
GPT. Okay.
Oh, AI,
what did it say?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I cut and pasted my stuff into ChatGPT and said,
Make this sound
like
I'm less angry.
Like I'm less angry. And it rewrote it. And
You're
I looked
a
at
fucking
it and I
dick.
went,
Make this sound less angry.
And I went, there's bits about this I like, but there's actually bits about this I don't like. Mm-hmm. So I went in and amended it. Did ChatGPT know how I was feeling?
No.
No, it absolutely didn't. Did it give me some more objective viewpoints? Yes, it did. Did it get my point across? Kind of, but not quite in the way I would have wanted it to.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I go. AI can be pretty scary.
Mm-hmm.
That's a simplified work thing, and yeah, that's fine. Where AI worries me is not about what it can do to me personally. Yeah. Is the bigger picture stuff.
No.
I agree.
The bigger picture stuff.
See, for me, I'm not scared of AI. I'm not worried about what's going to happen. My only worry is that my authenticity is misrepresented or tarnished
after I don't have a chance to argue it anymore.
I don't think individual AI issues are going to be the problem. I think it's going to be the bigger picture stuff.
I don't give a fuck about the bigger picture. No, like that's the thing. I don't care about that. That's fine.
But I don't think it's something you should be worried about. Your authenticity. I don't think that's going to be the issue. I think the issue is going to be bigger picture stuff. I think the issue with AI is, and I'm going to take it right back to Arnie. Terminator.
Mm-hmm. No, if you
Terminator.
I don't know, it doesn't matter who you like or dislike, all the major players in AI. So go to the Steve Jobs, or not Steve Jobs, what's his name?
Musk.
Musk, but what's his name?
Musk.
Bezos, Bill Gates, Sam Altman, and there's so many more that you and I might know slightly, but they're the biggest players. All of them say the same thing about it. They're like, this isn't a really good computer. It's not. It's what this case. So
it's
this
an
is
entity.
So this is my biggest conspiracy, and this isn't a conspiracy that you'll find on the internet. I'll have some more.
You will?
Nah.
Yeah, oh, Derek, just do it.
I didn't pour you on because I was like, Derek's not going to want more.
Tell him I said
No.
Jack's, he's 2 blocks up the road. We can go help them if we want.
No, you won't help.
What?
Yeah, we can. But the AI. Oh.
You asked for this. They're just gonna puke. Maybe we should end the pod.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But we have to do our people of the week. I'll go first.
No, I've done Juliet.
Yeah, no, it's...
Let's do it. For a second.
I gotta go... I got the hiccups now. You bastards.
Catch him.
You bitches. Sorry, I didn't mean to call you bastards. That's rude. You bitches. My person of the week is Sim. Sim, you're great. We had some good times.
Bless him.
I had a better speech, but now I got the hiccups. We miss you already. I wish we could have had you on the pod. But you had to leave on a plane. And so I gotta sing you a song. I'm leaving on a jet plane. Don't know when I'll be back again.
June.
June. It's for sure June. When you're back again, we'll watch some Whitecap soccer.
Singing this and make it Dad's ringtone.
Yeah, and I will always
Love you.
love you, Sim. Always love you.
And that's what happens when you have a tequila podcast.
A tequila podcast.
I'm not even going to do a person of the week.
No, you touch my remote.
Great person of the week.
Talk smack about it.
Sue. Love you, Sue.
No, that's not how it works. You gotta sing a song. You gotta sing.
La 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 la. La 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 la.
So if it's Sue,
La 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 la.
that's not a song. That's words.
Do, do, do.
That's words in a rhythm and a beat. Your baby's trying to learn math right now. That's fucked up. Julie, before you go, say goodbye.
Goodbye. It has been a blast.
Goodbye.
It's been a pod and a hod.